Everyone knows there are 20 managers in the Premier League, yeah? Well, actually, no. Around 3/4 of them are not managers. The terms manager and head coach are often used interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually two different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
I don't think so, no.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time, February 2025. Only 6 Premier League bosses actually held the official title of manager rather than head coach. Man City's Pep Guardiola, David Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff.
A very good evening and welcome to the final word with me, Majestic, alongside experienced Premier League manager Alan Pardew, the man who made it to the FA Cup final as both a player and a manager. And this season's finals completes as Chelsea defeat Leeds 1-0 to book a place in the final against Manchester City on the 16th of May. Enzo Fernandez scored the winner as Robert Sanchez kept Leeds at bay with a couple of superb saves. And Chelsea fans, come and celebrate with us. Well, you can come celebrate. I'm not celebrating for Chelsea. Leeds supporters, did you do enough in the game? And what do you make of Chelsea's alleged gamemanship throughout that tie? Later, we'll be talking about the weekend's other games, but right now it's all about the world's greatest cup competition, the FA Cup. Call us right now on 03 717 22 3344 to have your say on the final word phone in here on talkSPORT. That's right, it's the final word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Imagine Pards, at the earlier time of 6 o'clock, which means we get 30 minutes more of Imagine Pards. How are you, Pards?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Which allows us to talk about the real story of the weekend, Pards, the London Marathon.
Well, obviously travelling in today, inundated with... I've never seen so many people in London.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You know, everybody with their boards and that, supporting their relatives or family members or friends who are running and plodding away there, 26 miles, a long, long way.
Nice day for it, might be.
Yeah, no, the weather's good because it wasn't too hot, but it was okay.
And of course, we're going to be doffing our cap to those runners today.
Yes, we will.
And if you would like to doff that cap of yours to a loved one, someone who run the London Marathon today, or even if you want to give yourself a big pat on the back because you deserve it, then 03 717 22 3344. That number is 03 717 22 3344. Perhaps you're a long time talkSPORT listener and you never got involved. Today is the day. If you know someone that run the marathon, or if you run the marathon yourself, we want to hear your voice notes. We want to hear the time you done it in, the charity you did it for.
I was going to say the charity, yeah.
And we want to see your pictures as well.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to that. We'll share it in.
Or they might want to just, doing it for a loved one,
Exactly.
probably passed away.
Even if you'd like to call up and give us a phone in as well, we will be queue jumping marathon runners today. That's the queue jump access. If you've got a London Marathon medal today, you can queue jump.
Queue jump.
Straight on.
Straight in. The red carpet.
Let's talk about Chelsea Man City, of course. The 16th of May is the FA Cup final. Chelsea have had an up and down season, just sat their manager, but they're in a final. And we'll talk about Callum McFarlane coming again this season as interim manager. He was at Whiteleaf as well. Is one of your former places?
Well, I used to play there when I was very young, and a big friend of mine, Lee Richardson, was the ex-manager, knows Callum. So he's had to do the rounds.
Yeah.
But he finds himself at Wembley, and he finds himself in a cup final. He might be managing that team in the cup final.
Yeah. Well, considering what we saw yesterday with Southampton, who I thought put up an excellent fight against Manchester City, disappointed in Leeds I am.
Yeah, I can see where, obviously listening to the guys on the show earlier and, watching the game on TV. Yeah, you can have games where you want more from your team, and I sense that Leeds they did play okay. It wasn't like they put in a really poor performance. They had chances. They could have, if they'd have been a bit more clinical, they could have got back in the game. But I know what you mean. There was a lack of real push. It was almost the sporadic moments, wasn't there? There wasn't like a real 10-minute, 15-minute. Come on, let's get something over the line here. And I think that's what Leeds fans were wishing for.
Absolutely. What do you make of this gamemanship from Chelsea? Do you agree with?
I think gamemanship slipped into the game this year. It's been one of those years, isn't it? There's a lot of things I think wrong with the game at the moment. Obviously leaning on set plays too much. This tactic of a goalie going down or a player getting injured and having the coaches having a mid break in the middle of a half. So now you've got 25 minutes of football, more like a timeout we're getting in foot in. And, that does need to clamp down. I see Stuart Pearce mentioning that we shouldn't, lean on referees, especially players and managers should drive it. I agree with that. But I do think referees do need to police it a little bit better and try and hour the game up and see through some of the situations. Some of them look fairly obvious to me.
Yeah.
But it is difficult. It is a difficult one to solve that.
Well, I heard Sam Matterface talking earlier about the fact that it's almost like the boy cried wolf, because we could be in a situation where someone's really injured and we keep going down this path. We're going to go, oh, get up, and they could be seriously injured.
Well, that's what's going to happen, probably. And then again, where do we go with it? The bottom line is that coaches shouldn't encourage it. Initially, the problem is by their sort of intervention in bringing this idea forward. A bit like, what Chelsea did with the circle around the ball, with the psychologist who says, they brought a psychologist in, then they started carrying around the ball before the game, as sort of owning the ball, all that nonsense. It's just let the players play, Let's just let them play.
It's not that hard, is it?
No. And there was I enjoyed yesterday. I was at the Manchester City game, obviously, did the co-comments on there.
I was listening. Quite did a great job.
Well, that was a great ending to that game. But again, that period before that was difficult. If you're a Southampton fan, you're like, well, come on, a little bit more. But when you're up against opposition like Leeds had today against Chelsea and Southampton had against Manchester City, the opposition do stop you. As much as you want to create some action, you want to create a moment, they're at their best to try and stop you, and that makes it difficult.
Have Chelsea got enough to beat Manchester City in the final?
I don't think so, no. I mean, looking at Manchester City yesterday, they're in great form. Their offensive players are on fire, and he's got such ammunition from the bench. He can change it. I mean, yesterday, of course, he started with the bench, you could argue, but they still put in some great performance. Kovacic, I mean, who hasn't played all year, was absolutely terrific. Yeah. Still got some marvellous players at that football club.
You forget sometimes who's there.
Yeah, correct.
Someone actually said to me yesterday, oh, Reinders, I forgot he played for City because he's not featured that often.
No, and, and he's got amazing quality, and, whenever he pulls it onto that right foot, you're thinking always, he's going to get a shot off. And it wouldn't have been a surprise if he got the winner yesterday. In fact, it wasn't. But great goals, great game, great atmosphere, by the way. Well done to Southampton fans, everyone who turned up there. great support, and obviously Manchester City fans, great too. But got the win. A little bit easier, isn't it, when you get the win? Did
Chelsea stick with their manager now to the end of the season?
Well, I sensed after the game that a bit like the assistant manager, where he hasn't really made any enemies there. It looks like they all liked him, on the training ground. He's got a nice manner, Callum. I think it probably would make sense to run with him to the end of the year, because then you have your options are so much greater. You got Glasner out of contract, you got Irola out of contract, you got Marcus Silva out of contract, you got Steven Gerrard, who's done the TV today, out of contract. You got a lot of options in the summer who might not bite initially that Chelsea job, and actually not, and contractually they can't do it at this time. So I think if Blueco, is it Blueco? We're talking about the ownership. Let's hope that they make the right decision this time.
Yeah. It didn't work out, did it, with Liam Rosenior?
No, it didn't work out for Liam.
And we wanted it to work out. He's a young manager, a young English manager.
Absolutely. But, the results were everything in the end.
Too big a job, too early on?
Yeah, you could argue that. I think also the ownership and the sporting directors he had with him were influencing him too much, I think. And that comes from a fact that you sometimes, a big hitter manager is going to have a little bit more kind of fight in him and a little bit more know-how to sort of knock them back a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's where I think they probably need to go, Chelsea. They need a big hitter in there. That's what I would. That's how I'd advise them if I was around the football club.
And who would you go for?
I would go for the best person out of contract in the summer, and I think that's Andoni Irola.
Interesting. Chelsea fans, what do you make? Who do you want to be your next manager? 03717 223344 is the number. Leeds fans, we want to hear from you. Could your team done more today at Wembley? Are you proud of the boys on the way home tonight? And also, if you run the London Marathon today, remember, we're going to hear from you and your stories on 03717 223344. The phone lines, the WhatsApp, are now officially open, Pards. They are open and they are ready for you guys and girls. This is from Stephen, who's a big Leeds fan. I don't mind getting beat, but we just didn't have a go. 20 to 30 minutes to play. We should have just gone for it. It was a great cup run, but our main objective was to stay in the league. From Stephen, he's got a point there, but
that's what I was saying about they just didn't have that kind of, even like the finish yesterday from Southampton. It got the goal, and you moment there, you just thought there was tangible evidence that they might get through, to give their fans the hope that's what Leeds fans wanted today. A bit more hope in the performance. It wasn't there.
So as I said before, I can see it right in front of me. The WhatsApps are now open. I want to see this screen come alive and alight with stories from the London Marathon, voice notes popping up on there. 03717 223344. Remember, this is your show on a Sunday night. You dictate where it goes, so get involved. Be part of the final word with Madge and Pards on talkSPORT.
Cole Palmer, he hasn't turned up all season. I said this yesterday. If you were naming the England squad today, Eze, Gibbs-White and Morgan Rogers miles ahead of Cole Palmer. 22 appearances this season in the Premier League, only 9 goals, 1 assist, and his last goal was the 4th of March against Aston Villa. He's not turned up. And when there's a game where a manager needs one of his top players against Brighton, he's in the stands. What did the physio who picked the team under Maresca say? You've got a 10% chance of getting injured, Cole. Take it easy against Brighton. Go and sit in the stand. We come for the players like Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, Garnacho maybe, but let's look closer to home as well. For me, Cole Palmer this season been a disappointment.
Not just this season, actually. If you look at his form in the second half of last season, this is a decline that's been going on for a long time.
He won the Club World Cup final single-handedly.
He turned up for that.
He turned the Conference League final on its head after half.
What about in the Premier League, the second half of last season?
Well, he played more games than anybody else, and he was certainly Chelsea's best player over the course of the season.
This season, though, he's not been good enough. When you look
he's been struggling with a groin injury, and if you speak to Thomas Tuchel, he'll tell you that he couldn't run properly for the first half of the season.
But you look at your Maverick players like Cole Palmer. He's earning a lot of money, long-term contract, paid a good fee for him. He's not done enough, and I've been watching him as well in games. And he's throwing his hands up at João Pedro for not passing to him, and he thinks he's the main man. If you are the main man, Cole Palmer, show it, and you haven't.
João Pedro's wrestled possession from Stroud and he's sent it wide to Neto, who's in the area, produces a cross. Enzo Fernandez is there and he heads it home, and Chelsea's goal drought against top-level opposition comes to an end, and it comes to an end with Enzo Fernandez wearing the captain's armband once again, and Chelsea are in front in the FA Cup semi-final. Mistake by Pascal Stroud, capitalised on by Chelsea. João Pedro funneled it to the right-hand side. The cross in from Pedro Neto. It couldn't be simpler for Enzo Fernandez, who rose highest and headed the ball home. And it's Chelsea 1, Leeds United 0.
And that's how it finished at Wembley, with Chelsea reaching the FA Cup final against Manchester City to play on the 16th of May. Chelsea, Manchester City, FA Cup final. Chelsea got a chance in that game?
Yeah, of course.
Always got a chance.
Yeah, it's a cup final. They've got a good history in cup finals, haven't they? Let's be honest.
They like the FA Cup.
They'll definitely be the underdogs. They'll start underdogs because of Manchester City, you know, on a roll at the moment. But make for a great final, that. Look forward to that.
Absolutely. Right, let's go to the phone lines at 03717 22 33 44. Gary, the Leeds fan, joins us. How are we, Gal?
Good evening. Not too bad. I'm on a train at the moment.
Okay.
On my way back.
How are you feeling after that, Gal?
Do you know what? Okay. Disappointed, but you know we've got Friday to think about now. I've lost my voice. Sorry, we didn't even turn up in the first half. Second half was much better.
Yeah.
We had a couple of changes, and yeah. Do you know what? I wasn't really expecting too much, 50-50. So it's all about Friday now for us.
Yeah, absolutely. But it feels as though you're safe in the Premier League. A semi-final of the FA Cup as well in the season. How do you sum up this season under Daniel Farke?
I think Farke's done really well. If we keep up, fingers crossed we do. And yeah, we've just got beat against a better Chelsea than they have been for the last 5 or 6 weeks. Let's put it that way. And that's another story, isn't it? But yeah, I think it's a good season, a very good season. Farke's done really well. I mean, there was a lot of people look at him at the beginning of the season because he's never kept a team up in the Premier League before. So yeah, I mean, all good. And he started to change things as well. You know, he's changing things. He brought some players on at half time, made a big difference for us.
Yeah, the half-time changes worked. And when I've seen him this year, obviously even in some disappointing performances and results, I think he's held himself better this year with the press. He's been a little bit more positive, and I think he's reflected on his time in the Premiership before and adjusted a couple of things in himself, and I think that's worked really well for him. And as you say, with Burnley Friday night at home, you can't imagine that stadium isn't going to get you over the line. It'll be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it was a strange atmosphere today because Ellen Road. It's just so.
Oh, I think we lost Gary. We'll move on from Gary. Thank you very much to Gary. And if you are following the SPL, there's been a goal in the game between Hibs And Hearts now.
Oh, wow. What an
2 goals to 1
important
up.
goal that is.
What a massive goal that is for Hearts. Wow. Let's go to Vernon, who's a Chelsea fan. Evening, Vernon.
Morning, boy. Morning.
Morning.
Had a long weekend, Vern.
You've been on the beers.
Yeah, I have actually. But listen, it ain't often we win, Jill. So you got to have a couple of beers to celebrate.
Oh,
you know
of course.
What I mean?
Another final
And,
though for Chelsea.
Well, yeah, another final rolls by. My God, when I think back to when I first started supporting Chelsea, I'd have been happy just to win one single trophy before I kicked the bucket. You know that? That's how bad we used to be. Honestly, I'm not kidding. Little did I know what was coming around the corner for the next 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But, of course, being Chelsea, you know what it's like. Up and down, chaos. And Jason Cunley's got this theory, and I completely agree with it, that when Chelsea are in absolute chaos, that's when they do their best. They near enough every time they win something big, they're in sort of flux, chaos. The manager's going, no one likes this, and I don't know why.
It sort of galvanates them, doesn't it? You know, it galvanates the squad when there's a manager loses his job or there's been a crisis of some description. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, Bud, you said to me at the start of the show, what Chelsea fans, what manager do they want? And I think it's an absolute no-brainer. If ever there was a no-brainer in getting the next manager, it's this. It's got to be Areola from Bournemouth. For so many reasons, lads. He's out of contract, so, there's no skullduggery needed. No money needs to go, change hands. He's done an unbelievably good job at Rayo Vallecano when he was in Spain, when he's learning his craft. Picking them up from the relegation candidates to up into upper echelons of the Liga, La Liga, which is in a mugs game, by the way. And he got them to the semi-final of the King's Cup over there, which isn't easy. And then on top of that, he's gone to Bournemouth 3 years ago. He's kept them mid-table or higher. And on top of that, they've sold all their best players nearly every year, because that's what they have to do, because they only get 11,500.
Cool, you've done your own work, Vernon, haven't you?
I know I have, mate, and I know, because I'm a bit of a football nut, and I'm a Chelsea nut. So when it comes to this, me and my mate have been talking about Areola all season, never knowing that he may end up at us. But because this would be a sensible decision for once. Please, I beg you, if anyone's listening from Clear Lake or Blue Coal, whatever one you call yourselves, please do the right thing this time. Don't try and play silly buggers. Go out, get the right man, be sensible. He's an absolute no-brainer. Yeah. He'll do a good job for us. I'm absolutely certain, Alan, he'll do a good job.
Yeah, and I just want to touch on one other thing, though, why I think he's important. All those things that you were just talking about gives him kudos in that boardroom to say no. And I think that's what Chelsea need. They need a manager who's going to say, look, what we're doing here is wrong. We need a couple of experienced players. We need to move him on because he's bad. He's a bad egg. That player has to go. That player has to go. And that's the plan. And then you got to stick to it. And that's what you need. You need a manager with that kind of oomph.
Yeah, backbone.
Yeah.
I think he's got that. He's 43 now. He's not a kid.
Exactly.
He's got some experience. He's had 3 years in the Premier League, and I'll tell you what, he's more than held his own, by the way, guys. He's more than held his own. Bournemouth are not a team to trifle with. And, when you look at all the players they sold at the start of the season, I was thinking to myself, oh, my God.
They might be relegation fodder, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
They pretty much sold their whole back four.
Yeah, and they brought in 2 or 3 players who have just been as good, if not better. Senzi, who looks like he's going to go, is one of those. And, the young French boy, he's been terrific. But I just sense, Vernon, just a little bit. I just want to double check with you, because obviously Chelsea are renowned for paying secondary figures and third figures in transfers. I'm just wondering if you're part of Irola's team, knowing how well you've sold him. You're not getting a payday, are you, from Le Plugo?
10%.
No, oh God,
Allegedly.
You know
I bet you wish you were.
Yeah, I do, but you know what? I am not being sycophantic here. I would crawled Stamford Bridge on my hands and knees to work for Chelsea for nothing. Because whenever something bad said about Chelsea, it's like someone's punching me in the guts. That's how much I love them.
Yeah, that's true, fan, mate.
That's what football means to us, Ryan, doesn't it?
It does, and yeah, it does, and you know what it's like when you when you love a club. As somebody said the other day on the thing, they said you don't pick your club, the club picks you, and then once you love them, that's the end of it. You've had it for the rest of your life.
Right, imagine being a Spurs fan like me now. Give me strength. Brilliant call. Thank you very much, Vernon. Loads to get involved with. Been great calls already. As I said, the floor is now yours. Whether you are a marathon runner today, we want to see those pictures and voice notes come in as we put together a bit of a montage for you guys for around 7 o'clock, as well as your voice notes. Very soon, Pards, I'm legally obliged and contractually obliged to talk about Spurs.
Oh, good. I can't wait for it. And it'll be interesting, Vernon's conversation there, because you can tell, obviously, the die-hard Chelsea,
proper Chelsea.
Proper Chelsea.
Proper Chelsea.
And he'll be going to the final, all expectations. And the World Club Championship is in the locker from the start of the year. They could have started the year with a trophy. They could end it with a trophy. Yeah. That would be typical Chelsea.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. In a time when it doesn't feel like they've been doing great. We're also going to be talking about the second semi-finals. Manchester City defeated Southampton. Some great goals in that game. Keep those calls coming in at 03717 223344. That is the number you need. And you listen to the final word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas.
Sky Vegas, baby.
All your favourite games, all in one place. 18 plus. Gamblerware.org.
I've been saying this all season. They don't want to get rid of Arne Slot. Other media outlets are now reporting that he's going to stay come what may, particularly as they look like they're going to get
what you've been saying
all
along, Cookie.
Yeah, but what I was going to say, when you've got this much upheaval, do you really want to add a change of manager into the mix as well? Particularly when you've got a manager who did win the Premier League last year. Well, he's not useless, is he, Arne Slot?
I think he deserves another go at it. But when he comes out and says we need to sell players, I don't think that's right, is it?
That's always been the Liverpool way. These are not owners who...
FSG don't spend loads of money. They don't just lavish loads of cash.
Who in that squad, though, is going to bring in a lot of money? Who's going to bring in a lot of money in that squad of players?
Jones will bring you 20 million quid.
Okay, who else?
Alexis McAllister, potentially. Not had a great season. Bit of interest from Real Madrid, I'm hearing.
Alisson, did they cash in on Alisson?
Well, he spoke about him today, actually, and he said that he doesn't respond to rumours.
I think he'll stay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well,
Mamardashvili's not proved himself to be ready yet.
No, not quite yet. Let's just say that. 03717223344. By the way, Arne Slot staying. He had said it.
He said all along.
Yep,
months. Yep.
Done. See, that's proper.
On the podcast. What's the podcast?
Premier League All Access. If you just have a look towards your left-hand side, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, look at that for a plug.
You can see the QR code. Just give it a little scan and you'll be able to listen to that when we finish here today.
Is that the first plug we've ever had for our own podcast?
That's on there every week.
Is it?
Every
I
week.
don't look at myself on the camera. I look at you guys. I'm engaging. Yeah.
You don't. You look at your phone or your laptop most of the time. That's your.
You know your stuff, Crookie.
You do. Yeah, okay. You look at top journalist.
love this music.
It's a great song.
Brilliant song.
I remember.
Always reminds me of the 70s. I don't know why. Obviously, I used to pop down there when I was a Fulham fan, trying to be a bit harder, go down to Chelsea.
Yeah, then you went to Chelsea and you absolutely melted, didn't you?
Melted.
You're melting, didn't you? You get a Fulham, you've gone down there.
Run! They're coming.
They are. It is Imagine Pardew on the Sunday night. Majestic and Alan Pardew, in case you're joining us for the very first time ever, then welcome to the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT, where you can have your say to the nation on, not arguably, definitely, the world's biggest sports station. 03717 223344. The record-breaking Final Word, we call ourselves, don't we, Pards?
It's record-breaking. And we've got some big news coming from north of the border, mate.
We have. Do you want to announce it, Pards?
Well, Hearts have beaten in the derby Hibernian 2-1, which takes them to 73 points after 34 games. Celtic, after 34 games, are 70 points. And Rangers, who got beat today, are 34 games, 69 points. What an end that's going to be.
Yeah.
And Hearts jumping up and down, the fans, wow, they must be dreaming.
Yeah, they got the late winner there, didn't they? Great winner, shot from outside the box.
Yeah, deflection, actually. Which what you need, a little bit of luck now and again. It wasn't going in, actually, the shot, but he gets the deflection off a defender, and there, Bob's your uncle. You're leading that league. And very much what happened to Southampton yesterday, who were comfortable, looking like, oh, can they see this, 10 minutes out? And Duco takes a shot. Shouldn't have shown him on the inside. Never show him on the inside. It's a defender and goes in the corner.
Yeah, and then, of course, Nico Gonzalez.
Oh, what a goal.
Phenomenal.
Have you hit one like that? Ever?
To be fair, actually, not as good as that. That's at Wembley.
I was gonna say it'd be a bit of a test, mate.
It's a good one.
You got to be a proper professional technique for that one.
Well, the technique of it was just.
Yeah. Well, I have played with a few non-league players who actually could hit the ball harder than pros. I mean, that's bizarre to say that. So it's not like a unique talent that you can coach.
No.
Sometimes it's just within you.
100%. But the Southampton goal as well was superb.
Oh, what a goal! As is.
Yeah. What I really enjoyed about that, and I was showing my 9-year-old son on the replay, it's so instinctive. He doesn't look at the goal. Doesn't even look at the goal. He takes the touch, opens it out of his feet, and then bends it. And that's what I was explaining to my son who plays up front. I'm like,
well, I used to do finishing session very much based around that never to look at the goal.
Yeah.
You know where it is. And you know why you know where it is more often than not? The lines of the box.
Yes.
Right, so the lines of the box tell you where the goal is, roughly. You know, maybe within millimetres, but you know exactly where it is. And, it's very, very important. Keep your eye on that ball.
Right, we've had some messages coming in already, Pards, in regards to this Iriola shout at Chelsea. I'm going to go to the phone lines in a moment, but this is a great message from Kessa from Huddersfield. Says, hi guys, great show like always. I'm sorry I don't agree with those calling for Iriola. He's the absolute wrong choice unless the club is going to sell at least 8 to 12 players and replace them with Iriola type players. He's a great coach, but he plays high intensity, high press, and history teams are renowned for not holding onto the ball for long.
Yeah, that's right. And what it will do is he'll sort out, the thick from the thin in terms of players who can do what he wants to do. And if they can't do it, they're out.
He's saying not bad, but absolutely horrible for the profile of Chelsea's possession-based game players who are suited to mid-block and not to possession.
No, I don't agree with that.
Under Iriola's intense press, and a lot of our players will sound more time on will spend more time on the treatment table than on the pitch. James, Fofana, Lavia will have new neighbours as we don't have the physical profile for his system, and our 500 sporting directors won't sell all them players at the right time. Interesting. He reckons Chelsea deserve or need a possession-based manager like an Alonso.
When you come down to systems and you talk about that and high press or whatever and a physicality that a manager wants, that's one of the problems when you keep changing managers. Then you've got no philosophy about how you're going to play the game. You're just going randomly from manager to manager to manager to manager with different concepts. What you've got to say is, what are we going to be about? Or you're going to do, when you change to that manager, fully commit to him. So there's a difference what the hierarchy at Chelsea want to do. And when you talk about possession-based players, if you want to talk about possession-based players, look at PSG, right? Now, you can't get a better possession-based team than them. You ever seen them press? They press like you've never known, right? They are probably the best pressing team I've seen this year. And technically the best team. So if you want to compete with PSG, you've got to do both. You can't just do a mid-block and possession-based players, etc., etc. It ain't happening.
Absolutely. Just before we head to the phone lines, Andy in Glasgow, he says, Rangers man.
Oh, my goodness.
Rangers man.
Terrible result today.
He goes, great show for no football on again. Not too good today. Next 2 games are massive for the Rangers. I know this won't be read out, though, but you never know. More chance of Rangers winning the league. Andy, we read it out. I might mean you're winning the league, Shan. Let's go.
What part of Scotland's accent from that you're trying to imitate there? Is that a Glaswegian or an Edinburgh?
Don't really know, but that's Alan Hansen, okay? You want nothing with kids. Let's go to Richard. Let's go to Richard, the Chelsea fan. Evening, Richard.
Evening, lads.
Another cup final for the Chelsea. Even when you're playing badly, you're still in cup finals.
It's awful. They're just papering over the cracks that game today. The players need to have a long hard look at themselves after the way they performed lately. And if people are going on about us getting a new manager, no manager's going to come to us with any sense all the time. The board of directors and telling them who they're going to have.
Yeah,
the manager needs.
I was going to say this, Richard. I was going to ask Pards this because Iriola, I imagine, would have had a lot to say at Bournemouth.
Well, hold on. Let's just put things in perspective here. Firstly, you've got the ego of a manager, right? When you're at the top of your game, you think you can do anything.
Did you have one?
Yeah, of course. All managers do. You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to crumble in the dressing room if you haven't got an ego strong enough to withstand some of the nonsense you have to put up with. But one of the attractions of Chelsea, I would say, is it's almost a free hit for the next manager. Because it's a failing club. They're gonna, whoever goes in there, you're going to have a termination clause that gives you at least £10 million. Less, you might even have it all tied up with the 3 or 4 year contract or 5 year contract that you sign. That is a full entitlement if you sack me. That's the power that the next manager needs to have, and therefore it is still an attractive option. You've still got huge talent pool in that dressing room. The problem you got is there financial problems on the horizon, and it does sound a little bit like Chelsea have overstretched it and are now manoeuvring their lawyers to try and balance the books.
Yeah,
that is an issue.
The problem is when a new manager comes in, the sporting. It's not just the managers that are the problem at Chelsea. They haven't been the problem.
Yeah,
i.e., it's the sporting directors they need to sack. They're the ones telling, go and get it. We went and bought 2 wingers last season. We didn't need 2 wingers. I mean, Garnacho, I'll get my own opinion on that. But we went and bought Gittins before Garnacho. We were looking at Xavi Simons for ages.
Yeah.
We needed a goalkeeper. We offered £12 million for the Milan keeper, one of the Milan keepers. Chelsea went, no, they wanted 17. We offered 12. Okay, no, won't get him. But they're going to waste 18, 19 million on 2 wingers, one we didn't need, and go and buy loads of midfielders and not decent defenders. The problem is with the club is the goalkeeper's useless. He's not very good. And until they start letting the manager go, right, I want him, and I want him. I don't want him, and him. You're going to buy.
I mean, and the problem you have when you have the sporting directors team that they have, that they're going to be very vulnerable to this new manager. They don't really want him to come and, them to lose their jobs. So, you can imagine they're trying to protect themselves a little bit. There is no doubt about that. But the ownership will have to see past it and get what they think is the right man. And let's hope, as you say, the decision they make next time is more successful and fruitful than the Liam decision was.
Let's go over to London, who joins us on the show. How are you, mate?
Hey, good evening. Good evening, Majestic. Good evening, Mr. Pardew. How are you?
Hello, London.
Another final for Chelsea. Does it make you a little bit happier today? Because I know a lot of the Chelsea fans have been fuming when I've been hearing the one with Rory.
I have to agree with the previous caller. That's just like masking over the cracks, all the stuff that's been just going on and stuff. I mean, I don't believe anything that the board are saying, about they're going to change. And if you're a realist, you just got to know that what they're saying is just like I think Simon Jordan, somebody said it during the week, that what Ekbali said, he wasn't speaking to the Chelsea fans, he wasn't speaking to anybody but the people that invested in the football club.
Yeah,
because we heard that there's so much money that's been, given to Chelsea coming from different directions, and that is worrying for Chelsea fans. So me personally, I think Areola at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Is it Areola?
Yes. Yeah, Areola.
I would really like to see him at the helm. I think he is the type of manager for this structure, because you look at him at Bournemouth. Look how many of his best players been taken from him. Not once do you ever hear him moan about it. I don't want Glasner. With all respect to you, Mr. Pardew, I don't want no Glasner near Chelsea Football Club. The man made it clear that he, when he's being tested or challenged on losing his best players, he is quick to actually come out and moan about it. He even announced that he's leaving. So Areola, I look at Areola at Bournemouth as the perfect candidate for this. I don't want to hear these Cesc Fabregas talk. He ain't done nothing yet. We don't want to see another Maresca or Liam. People where you ain't have enough experience. This man is managing in Spain. He's managing the Premier League. You've seen him. We've seen Bournemouth I understand it's a small ground, and the football probably is much more easy, to play, the free-flowing football. But I believe he can do it at Stamford Bridge. This is the man, I think, for Chelsea to go for right now, because he ain't going to moan about it.
The one thing I would say, London, is that, you are going to have a hot chase for him, because he's going to have 3 or 4 options. There's no doubt about that. And I think Man United could well be one of those.
I'm also with you, London, in terms of, if he comes, he's a perfect man to lead this project with the players that they've got, the young players as well. But he needs to have the final say. It's only going to work if Areola can manage that situation.
The point being that when he comes in, Madge, that hole has to be addressed. Do you know what I mean? In those initial meetings. Yeah. He needs to know that he's going to get the power that
I don't think the Chelsea board could help themselves, sir, even if they gave him the power.
I actually agree with you on that. I think it is a difficult one to take, and I think if he does have competition, i.e. a Man United or a club on a similar stature, then he might go elsewhere. But for Chelsea at the moment, it really is leaving them in a little bit of a strange position. A great football club, a fantastic budget that they've had, and a squad that really doesn't reflect that budget. So we have to wait and see in terms of what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with the fact that Pards is bang on the money there, and we have to see if the board are actually going to go by their word, or we're going to change things, because I just felt like it was lip service. And I think that's what Simon Jordan was.
Yeah, and I think I know a lot of Chelsea fans, and I don't know if London agrees with this. I think a lot of Chelsea fans are sort of like, what can we do? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like where are we going next? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. A sort of an acceptance of the incompetence that's going on.
Well, I just don't know what Chelsea are at the moment, and that's what I keep saying, because, again, they are in the final. We know the quality of Chelsea. There's quality in that team as well. They're a huge club. And I just think if there's going to be a project with Chelsea, then Areola, I think, is the perfect candidate for that project, but he has to be given the reins. He has to be in control. And we've seen...
Well, it's like any manager who goes in next.
Yeah.
I think it's not a mystery to know that Liam really didn't have the kudos and power, I don't think, to really front up the ownership and say, this is wrong. We're going to have to do something different. And maybe at the end he did, and that's probably why he's gone. Who knows?
Well, it is a very special Sunday, dear Pards. And you know what we need on a special Sunday?
Voice notes.
We need these.
On your WhatsApp is a very special place you can speak to my WhatsApp, baby.
Send us your WhatsApp, baby.
WhatsApp, baby, WhatsApp.
Final word.
WhatsApp, baby, WhatsApp.
The WhatsApp number is 037-172-2344.
That's right, that's the WhatsApp number. Yes, we want to hear your WhatsApp voice notes and video messages today, Pards.
Yeah, and you know what else has been going on as well? Because we only had one game today, didn't we? One game in England, the big game, the semi-final.
Yeah.
We haven't had many games, but there were a lot of games going on over the weekend that involved wing leagues, relegation.
Correct.
In the non-league world. So if you want to give a shout out to a miraculous recovery and a stop going down because you won somewhere, or you've won a league, or you've won the cup, Put one of them on as well.
Absolutely. And we want to hear from those marathon runners as well.
Yep.
The number you need is 03717 223344. Send us a short WhatsApp message right now, and we'll hear from you soon on the final word here on talkSPORT Imagine Parts.
The big news is that Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea after 5 straight Premier League losses in which Chelsea didn't score a single goal. That's their worst record since 1912. Now, Chelsea would have preferred Rosenior to stay and be judged in years rather than weeks, but it simply wasn't possible. And as a consequence, a mid-season change is needed. Even though Rosenior only got the job in January, what I can tell you is that the players have already been informed. They were off today, and Callum McFarland will take charge of the team until the end of the season on an interim basis. And that includes the weekend's FA Cup semi-final against Leeds United at Wembley. And then Chelsea in the summer will do a thorough process to replace Rosenior, but they're going to take their time with that. So Rosenior sacked after that loss to Brighton, arguably Chelsea's worst performance in many, many years. And it is an interim manager in Callum McFarland to take charge until the end of the season.
Ben, firstly, well done on breaking the news. I'm looking at all the other media outlets. We've got it before everyone, so I really appreciate you telling talkSPORT first. Why the big change of heart? Because it wasn't that long ago the owners came out and almost confirmed the fact that they were going to stick with their manager, and they see him in that position for a long, long time. Why all of a sudden is it the change of heart? Is it the performance? Is it the result last night?
It's a results-driven business.
Here's talkSPORT Imagine Parts. I like this message. Marcus said, Madge, you said you don't know where Chelsea are going. I'll tell you where we're going. Wembley. Que sera, sera. Nice one, Marcus. Good evening, Imagine Parts. I think talkSPORT should have a section where they offer life advice to fans with non-serious problems in their life. I'll start. I'm a Forest fan, and along with Spurs, West Ham, and maybe Leeds fan, I'm concerned about relegation. I've developed an unhealthy obsession with checking the league table 10 to 15 times a day. It's wrecking my head, but I can't stop. What advice can you give me to stop this, apart from telling me to go on a run or something like that? That's from Matt in Nottingham. Any advice, Parts?
Yeah, do what football managers do. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. It's horrible. Keep looking at the league table. Just look at the next game. Try and work out how you think you're going to win.
Yeah, that's
Stay
a good
positive.
point. Matt, I'm with you. I've checked the league table.
Yeah, don't move.
Yes, it does.
That's the problem.
Well, it does when you're 1-0 up at Wolves.
Yeah, it does move.
And then Everton get going back. And then all of a sudden West Ham score.
On a Monday morning, generally, it doesn't move.
We've had so many messages coming in right now as well. Thank you. Keep those marathon messages coming in. Loads to get through between now and 9 o'clock, of course. It's extended Imagine Parts tonight because we started at 6. But it's been a good day for new Chelsea interim boss Callum McFarland after his side beat Leeds 1-0 in the FA Cup semi-final earlier.
Strange saying his side, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know about Chelsea. It doesn't really work, does it?
Let's now hear from both managers, starting with Leeds boss Daniel Farker, speaking to talkSPORT's Alex Cook.
Not that we were played out of the park. We had the first big chance in the game, their goalkeeper with a great save, but they were a bit more clinical. Second half, we brought the game more and more to them and played more or less just in their half, and had also good situations, good saves from Sanchez against Anton Stach, against Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but Chelsea always had an answer to our questions anyhow, and they were very clinical in defending, and for that you have to accept that they go through.
Times it gets forgotten, they don't really get the limelight, but I can remember two massive saves, one at 0-0 and one at 1-0, where he's got us out of jail, and that's what Rob does. That's probably one of the best in the world at that. So we need that from him, and that's the reason we've got a clean sheet.
Pards, you heard Daniel Farker there. What did you make of his?
Yeah, he was obviously justifying the performance by saying his team did a lot better than people are reflecting on. Yeah, there was 2 or 3 moments that they had in the game where they could have got something, but I think it was just a general kind of like a bit more fight wanted to be seen on the pitch, a little bit more intensity around some of the chances and bits that were coming out in the box to win again, to have another attack. I mean, Majestic were irresistible yesterday in terms of doing that. And Southampton, wow, they did so well to stand up to it. But then Southampton had that little period where they got the goal, and you thought, wow, but I never really felt that with Leeds today. Did you? And Calvert-Lewin's chance was a poor effort. Actually, the cross wasn't that bad. He actually took pace off the cross, which is hard to do, really, with a header. And it just, was an easy save. But Chelsea keeper did make a very, very good save in the game from the hit from the edge. That was the moment for Leeds, I thought.
It's like it's almost like he had to put more sort of twist on the header or to header it down.
He just mistimed it. It's a bit like a golf swing. You got to get the momentum right, and he didn't. It was all wrong. He's hanging there. It looks like he's all set, and he sort of got under it and powder puffed it. Not like Ali McCoist. Ali McCoist would have gone bang, and it'd have gone right across the goal into the far net.
And in fairness to him as well, he's normally great in here.
Yeah, to be fair, he is.
He's a very good.
Yeah, he just got that one all wrong.
Yeah, it can happen. Right, let's talk about this red card or not, the hair pull. Lots of people talking about the hair pull. What do you think about hair pulling?
Well, it was. I've seen the still. In the still, you think, wow, it's a red card because he's got a lump of his hair. In real time, it looked just like a little sort of flick of his wrist and, tugged at his hair a little bit. I'm not really a great lover of getting sent off for it, but we know in the women's game that there's a lot of hair pulling going on, so that that rule has to reflect across the board. So I can understand why it's a red. Today, I didn't think there was enough in that one. Sometimes referees have to, referee it as they see it. And did it have enough in it for VAR to get involved? Probably not. So I think it was probably the right decision.
Yeah. But there's lots of people talking about because, of course, the Martinez one where he got sent off. Is it violent play? Because I'll tell you what, yesterday, and I know Jamie was fuming about it, Mr. O'Hara on the show yesterday with Basuma being two-footed, realistically, in the middle of the park, and that was a yellow card.
I know.
And that looked dangerous.
Yeah. That's the problem when I think it's one of those tricky things that's gone on. I just really wish players wouldn't do it. I'm just trying to think back in my day, did we pull each other's hair? Not really. You might get an elbow in the teeth or, a cut above your eye from a nasty fling of your arm, but I can't remember anyone pulling anyone's hair. It's a modern trend that needs to disappear, maybe since ponytails started coming into the game.
Or, do you remember Rudy Voller and Ruud Gullit?
Well, that was a bit more
nasty.
That was off the scale, that one.
That's what I'm saying. Nasty. So we have had hair incidents in football for a long time, in actual fact, when you think about it. 03717 22 3344 is the number to call. So our very own Shabana Hearn, our lovely Shabana Hearn, did the London Marathon today.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's been absolutely killing the training. I've seen her recovery and stuff. She's
ice baths and all that.
And some really painful looking massages. Where they get the tools out and they're draining the lymphs and right, so let's hear what the experience meant to her. Here's our Shaban.
I bumped into my sister-in-law at 20 miles and she strapped up my feet. She's a sports therapist, so that was a godsend. And then I met my husband's cousins who lost their son. and they were at 22 miles, and I think seeing them just made me very emotional because they've done everything, you know, and they lost their little boy at 10, and then I think the emotions come out and you're tired and you're hungry, and just seeing them just made me go, right, keep going, let's get this done. And like I say, everybody along the way who's just so supportive and lovely. That Liverpool fan has done 10 marathons and his wife's done 25. And I was overtaken by a woman who was 30 weeks pregnant. People are amazing. What a great day. So glad it's done.
The amazing Shabana Hearn, our very own Shaban.
It throws up some amazing stories, doesn't it? I mean, just telling that story about a pregnant woman running past her, amazing, isn't it?
She's going to be back on the Breakfast Show this week to talk about her experience. And now we want to hear from you and your stories on the WhatsApps. So get the voice notes. And we want some video notes. I really want some video notes this week. So you can send us some videos. Maybe it's a loved one of yourself crossing the finish line. Maybe you got a story like Shaban that you want to tell. Been some amazing charities people have been running for this week, independent ones and some big ones as well. And that's what it's about. It's about seeing everyone come together on that amazing day. You know, anyone who is listening to the show on the way home now that's run that marathon, a round of applause for them parts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful.
It's a give day, isn't it? You're giving, like, you know, when you're running, you're giving it to, you know, you're giving it for somebody, you know, in terms of a charity, or you're working for, you know, it's like it's for a cause. And everybody's up there to support you. It's a fantastic day. It's one of the great events that London probably does better than anyone else.
And, of course, on the Saturday, they do the kids one as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
And a lot of the lads from our football team ran it yesterday, so we was missing a few players.
Really?
Yeah. They all ran it, then got their medals. Well done.
And how many miles is that, Madge?
I can't remember how many miles it is.
Like
I think different age groups are.
Okay, they have a certain distance.
Yeah, they made everyone proud. Well done to Charlie McManus, to Teddy Graft, and to Theo as well, who run the London Marathon.
Yeah, well, maybe and
Victor Smith.
Yeah, maybe we should have an old age pensioners one.
No, I was just walking one. I'll do that one. Jason Cundy will be back at the Sports Bar to celebrate Chelsea's FA Cup semi-final win from 10 tomorrow evening. I wonder which mask he'll have on tomorrow. But coming up next, we're going from the FA Cup to the Premier League relegation battle.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. What a great late goal at London Stadium yesterday, wasn't it? No, it was.
Pards has come in as Mr. Iron today. He's Mr. Iron. He's gone full West Ham on me. All right, mate, Joey, did you see the goal, did you?
I'm not West Ham at all. Those who can see me on the screen, not West Ham at all.
You're listening to the final word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. All your favourite games, all in one place. 18 plus, gambleware.org.
It's expensive as well, living in Paris, by the sounds of it, Emmanuel. It's expensive being Emmanuel Petit, by the sounds of it, as well.
No, so happy to be Emmanuel Petit, you know.
Oh, quite right.
If I was not Emmanuel Petit, I wish I would be. I could be Emmanuel Petit. Honestly, my life is beautiful. You know?
Well, let's get into this. What do you like about him?
Well, I always do what I like, you know. I don't do things because I don't want to do it. And this is a luxury, especially nowadays. People would think, okay, with the money you earn, but I gave everything to my ex-wives. I had 3 divorces, and I gave the half of it to the States too. So, but I'm still very happy. I try, you know, every single morning when I wake up, I want to stay positive because life is beautiful. I know it's very difficult, but if you want things to change in your life, you have to be positive. This is my religion.
Coming on this show often might change that.
Well, I was going to say,
if I have to come every single day with Simon, maybe I will change after a month.
I'm fine, mate. I'm positive. I was going to say, Emmanuel, you only do things in life that you want to do, and you're sitting beside him.
It's a luxury, actually,
Yes,
because
it's a luxury.
most of the people, they don't have the choice to do it.
Do you know when you won it in '98? What was the culture like in that squad? The environment. What
Amazing.
was it? What was the mood? Who's your best pal in that squad?
The Six Nations, where giants do battle and legends are made. Epic sports which demands an epic voiceover every time. And actually has an interesting story as well. It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. The other home nations were a bit jealous, wanted in on the action, and after England played Wales in 1882, they all decided to hold an annual festival of international rugby, or the Home International Championship, which kicked off a year after. Now, the first decade was dominated by England and Scotland until Wales finally won in 1893 and Ireland a year later. After years of dipping in and out of the championship, France was invited to join full-time in 1910. But because France isn't a home nation, they had to give it a rebrand and settle on the Five Nations. But France were actually kicked out of the tournament in 1931. They were accused of paying players when rugby was still strictly an amateur sport. They had to wait years to be let back in. But after World War II, the Five Nations resumed. Didn't always run smoothly though, like in 1973 when all 5 teams won 2 matches and lost 2 matches. Now, because they didn't do points difference at the time, they just decided that everyone was the champion. It's like trying to keep kids happy, you know, the whole, you're all winners. In the years following, other teams in Europe started to get better at rugby and actually got to a stage where they were regularly beating teams in the Five Nations. In 1997, Italy beat Scotland, France and Ireland home and away. So 2 years later, the Five Nations invited Italy in, creating the Six Nations as we know it. In recent years, there have been calls to expand the tournament further to other European teams. Georgia and Portugal have been prime candidates to join of late. It's also been suggested there could be 2 tiers with promotion and relegation to promote growth of the sport in Europe. But the existing nations are a bit reluctant. So for now, it looks like the Six Nations, or Six Nations, or Sei Nazioni, is here to stay.
Good evening and welcome to the final word. Phoning with me, Majestic, alongside the former Crystal Palace and Newcastle manager Alan Pardew. We are walking in a blue wonderland this evening as Chelsea join Manchester City in the FA Cup final as Enzo Fernandez winner, as interim manager Callum McFarlane enjoys a winning start to a second spell as temporary boss at Chelsea. Soon we're talking about relegation scrap and Arsenal going back to the top of the table as the pressure mounts on Newcastle boss Eddie Howe. So pick up the phone right now, 03717 223344, to air your views to the nation on the final word phone and on talkSPORT. And of course, we'll be talking about the SPFL parts. Tight at the top there, isn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to work out the fixtures and it's almost impossible. They're playing each other, obviously. Hearts play Celtic and Rangers, and Celtic and Rangers playing each other. Wow. There's so much to play for, but Hearts got in the driving seat today by beating Hibernian, a great result for them. So their momentum goes on.
Isn't it nice to have like a third name in that mix with Rangers?
About time. I mean, about time, really. You'd like to think over the years someone would have
stepped up
to the plate. But Hearts have done it this year with the back end Tony Bloom, the Brighton owner.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've got real know-how behind that club now. Who've done brilliant in the Premier League, and could have a conflict of interest. Brighton v Hearts
in Europe.
Yeah,
couldn't.
He'll have to take his shares out or whatever they have to.
Would that be the same with what happened to Palace then? Because could that happen again?
I've got to be honest. I'm not exactly sure how the ownership is kind of modelled.
Up, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't know how that works at all clubs exactly. But Tony Bloom definitely is involved at Hearts in some capacity.
Well, it is a Sunday afternoon, the Sunday after the marathon. So many people are messaging us, and this is my call to the nation. If you would like to shout out a loved one or even give yourself a big tap on the back, you deserve it.
Absolutely.
There's going to be some painful baths tonight. Remember, Epsom salts are your friends.
Second skin.
Yeah,
That's the one.
yeah.
You need that second skin tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
otherwise you ain't going to work.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are in that situation, then do let us know at 03717 223344. We want WhatsApp voice note messages. We'd love some video messages tonight so we can play
Can I give them a tip? Because obviously some of them not done the marathon before.
Yeah.
Eat healthily for the next 24 hours. Don't go and have a McDonald's and chips. I see one finished and had McDonald's and chips. And I was thinking, not so sure about that.
I saw a few marathon runners at Mackey's
it's the go-to, isn't it?
Station.
And it is difficult to get something to eat because obviously there's so many people in the city at the moment buying everything up.
Well, I did see that
400 million they reckon it's worth, the London Marathon, do you know, for London.
It's good. I did see the wonderful owner of Sheesh offering London Marathon participants who've got medals a free-course dinner absolutely for free post the marathon.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very good.
He's like, just come. We are 5 minutes away from the finish line. Show me your medal. Free-course meal
You're
on
in.
us.
Yeah, I like that sort of gesture. I like.
Well done to the
Do you
guys.
remember
at
back in the day?
Sheesh. We love Sheesh.
You might be too young, actually, but back in the day when you used to go in a pub on a Sunday, roast potatoes on the top, free.
I remember that.
Roast potatoes would be there. You'd just have a couple of roast potatoes and have a pint.
Good, isn't it?
Lovely.
Bring back the free roasties.
Bring back the free roasties and a bit of stuffing.
Are you a good roast potato cooker yourself?
Very good.
It's one of my.
Oh, is it? Is it one of your? You can do that. Yeah.
Should we have a roast potato one?
We'll have a roast potato off. Yeah.
Right, let's get back to the phone lines before me and Pards go completely off piste and start doing a cooking show on talkSPORT. Let's go to Steve, the Chelsea fan. How are we, Steve?
I'm not too bad, guys. Nice to speak. Been a while. May I just mention one thing before I talk about Vernon and the Chelsea manager?
Okay.
I just want to say, Blue go out, win, lose or draw, and enough respect, even though me and Minerals have had our fallout, enough respect to Minerals, Eunice and Alex, Chelsea fan TVs, you know. I went home and away for years with him, done the fan camp, right? And after the implosion of Chelsea Football Club, as we all know, it's out there, I stopped going because I wasn't getting my wallet out and I protested with my feet. So let's start with this. What Vernon said about us supporters, and he said about getting a punch in the gut and our emotions. This is a heritage football club. These guys at the top, as we all know now, is out there, all right? They need, firstly, and I will get the manager, to get rid of these directors immediately. So let's not go on about the manager. It has to be a different structure. Not if, has to be. We all want the owners to go, but if they got to be there, Areola has to be the guy in the job. I'll tell you why. Well, you know, Bournemouth sold their players. He kept them up. In fact, they've even got better. Sold all their top players, defenders, etc. All right, he's going to have to go into the boardroom and say, "Listen, you're in the poo." And he swore that, in the poo financially, and everybody knows it's all there. Big up Bobby Fairview of bringing all the figures and the company out. Let him go in there and leave him alone. Get the directors out. We don't want you in there. Let a football man do a football job. Look what happened today. Look at Enzo Morenza today. Look what happened. Liam Rossignol. All just due respect, he was a joke. And they you know, we need to stop this, all right? And I'm not going to get all political and whatever. So we had a sensible performance today. Enzo played great. Pedro at the front, what a difference. These guys, who knows where we're going to be? We should always be at least Champions League, all right? So at the end of the day, get Areola in, but he has to be able to be free. End of. All right. So big up to all the Chelsea fans, right? And I'm behind the blue co-out, win, lose or draw. Thank you for hearing my words. As I said, I went home and away for years. I've been on there doing my little bit for years. All right. So that's where I leave it. We've got another final, right, to come to. Again, Chelsea, whenever they seem to be in the poo, we seem to pull out the bag. So let's see. Let's see. So anyway, guys, thanks for letting me on.
Great call, Steve. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. The Chelsea do. Every time they seem to be up against it, they do pull something.
When you got an ownership in place, they're not going to suddenly just go, "Oh, hand it over to a manager." They're not. They're going to kind of justify what they've done.
Yeah.
Try to justify it. They're going to try and sell them a story of how it will go forward, and it's about whether the manager who goes in, if it's Irola or Glasner or whoever's available. Might even be Marco Silva. I mean, Marco Silva's out of contract at Fulham, who's doing a great job. He only lives down the road. I'm sure Chelsea fans will be pleased to see him. It's very, very much how much control is this new manager going to get over the direction of the playing system and start of that first 11 for Chelsea.
Absolutely.
They can do what they want with the academy and everything else, right? Because no manager stays long enough at Chelsea. If I was a Chelsea manager, no point looking at it. No. There's no point looking at it. You're there for like 18 months maximum, 2 years. You might as well go, right, this is what I need now to get a success this year.
Is anyone ever going to learn from Arsenal in terms of what they've done with Arteta? 5-6 years.
No, it's not just Arteta, is it? You can look back, look at Pep.
That's what I'm saying.
For example.
But Pep, wasn't Pep involved in like the development of the academy and stuff before he even came there?
He's done. His team from Barcelona are already in place.
Yeah.
For 18 months. I think it was 18 months before he even arrived. So they were setting the scene for him. But the bottom line.
There's not many Pep Guardiolas out there.
No, you can change the manager and keep a philosophy. I can talk about Crystal Palace and what Steve Parish has managed to achieve there with that club. Is that they have changed managers over the years and they've had success by staying in the Premiership. But beneath them, the manager's role is not that much included. His job is the first team. The rest of the club is in organised fashion, is run by people who know what they're doing, and therefore underneath it, you've got a good system coming through. Hence why you get the odd young player who gets in the first team.
Interesting stuff for Chelsea. We're going to be speaking
Chelsea keeps selling their good ones.
Yeah.
Gay being particular, who was actually rested yesterday in the semi-final.
Well, a lot of their good defenders have gone off abroad and stuff, haven't they? Tomorrow, Arsenal Invincible Martin Keown joins White and Jordan from 10 a.m. He'll be happy after that victory, wouldn't he?
Cheered up. About time.
Oh, yeah. Do not miss that. But next up, we'll turn our attention from Wembley to the Premier League drop zone. You said this before. I thought
we are getting to it.
Okay. You're teasing me. So we want your relegation calls. We want your relegation calls.
Relegation calls? Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know. Calls for relegation.
Oh, okay. Well, like where you think it's going to go?
Yeah. Has it go far like that? 03717
Where's it going to go?
3344. Have you spoken to Woody this week? How is he?
Yeah, I spoke to Woody. Obviously, he was very emotional about them getting promoted. And then Freddie, obviously, the injury to Liverpool's number 2. Freddie's in. And obviously that eventful game that he had yesterday that we'll come on to.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
I heard he wants us at his party.
MK Dons have gone over him. MK Dons have gone bang into that first slot, win the last game. They're going to win it.
Yeah.
Be a bit of a disappointment that, I think.
Yeah, it would be. But he still wants us at the end of your party, I had.
Oh, well, listen, incredible what he's done at Bromley.
You're going to listen to the final word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. All your favourite games, all in one place. 18+, gamblerware.org.
happened?
Hello, matey.
What's happened?
You all right?
How are you, matey? You good?
I'm all right. Yeah, very well. Thank you very much.
Gaffer's gone.
Yeah.
Gaffer's
After
slapped.
yeah, last night's performance
Slap.
was unacceptable, mate.
Yeah, he
It's-
got slapped.
Yeah, something.
Slap.
That could not stay the same. The run of results and performances have just led to this. I mean, you heard me last night. I was absolutely crestfallen last night.
Thought he'd done well, mate. Thought he'd done well.
Well,
First
the
2
fact
minutes,
that
he was
he's
good.
gone suggests that he didn't. You know, it's one of those situations that something had to give, and we weren't. You know, you can't go through over 8 hours of football without scoring a match in a game in the Premier League. You can't do that. Those glasses look ridiculous.
What do you mean?
Are they hurting your eyes? I'll put them on. They start to.
I can't see nothing.
So if I do some hand signals to you, you won't see them.
No, I can't see. I actually genuinely.
You're out of order. Why are you using such a classic against me? Down, down, down.
Great song.
Great song. The late, great Paul Johnson.
What year would that have been?
1999.
Oh, okay.
The first year I ever went to Ibiza, actually.
Just before the millennium.
Yeah, with my mum and dad.
Really?
Dreaming of being like a DJ.
How old did you have been?
12.
Oh, you was dreaming early to be a DJ.
Yeah.
You was destined to be it then.
I got my first pair of decks that Christmas, and I've been Majestic ever since then.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when everyone's like, what's a grown man called Majestic for? Because I've been Majestic since I was 12. And the funny story of why I'm called Majestic, Pards, would you like to know why?
I would like to know why.
So my real name is Kevin Adam Christie.
I do know that. I do know that.
So when I had my decks in my loft, where my dad made me a little sort of section I could have my speaking.
So your dad invested in you. He was like, yeah, we'll get you up in the loft, son.
Get you out
of the way.
So
go and play your tunes up there.
Exactly that. So, you know, back in the day, you know, with graffiti, you used to tag. Like, you could tag things and...
I don't know what that means.
Like, graffiti tagging is like you have a little sort of your own...
Oh, I
tag
see.
name.
Yeah.
So, I graffitied DJ KAC. That was my initials. So, my dad's like, have you got a DJ name, son? I went, yeah, I'm going to stick with my initials, DJ KAC.
Oh, I quite like that. It's got a nice little ring to it.
It's like, you know...
The KAC. KAC's on.
KAC's on. Let's go see KAC.
Yeah, 2 o'clock tonight.
He's like, you know that says DJ CAC?
Oh.
Which means something else in another language.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that doesn't sound great. Majestic. And I literally pulled it out of here.
Just a moment that just arrived into your brain. Majestic's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it works well.
And then, do you know what? To bring it back to talk sport and to sport, Majestic MC, do you know who that was once upon a time?
No.
Audley Harrison. British gold medalist, was an MC and he was called Majestic.
Audley Harrison was a boxer.
Yeah, the boxer, and he was an MC.
Really?
He was an MC.
Well, after his boxing?
No,
career,
before.
During?
During it. And
really?
Yeah.
Doubling up?
Yeah.
I bet no one said, don't play that, mate. That's a rubbish tune. To him.
Well, I said if he wants his name back, he'll have to fight me for it. Yeah. Obviously, I'd lose. Right, it is the final word fighting here on talkSPORT with Imagine Pards, and that was the sound of Paul Johnson get down, which obviously means we're talking about the relegation zone, and also, without even meaning to, the wonderful gallery we have working hard here on talkSPORT. They must have known it's the Ibiza opening weekend this weekend.
Is it really?
It's the opening weekend of Ibiza.
What, Mambo and all the places are open?
Mambo opened actually last week.
Right, okay, because that's more of like chills, coffee, afternoon cocktail.
The best sunset in the world with the greatest daiquiris.
Okay.
Just a big shout to Jason Bye from Cafe Mambo, my brother. He's the best.
All right, we love you, Jace.
We do love Jason.
I'll have a few daiquiri when I come.
Oh, next year, just give him a nod. He loves you. He does.
All
love
right,
you.
Jason. Listen, we love the Mambo. I love that sitting there.
It is good. But so we've had Pikes is open now.
Pikes, I like it there.
Pikes is great.
Older clientele there.
Yeah, but brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant at Pikes. And you can stay there as well, which is great. And of course, it's where they...
Well, you need to because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's where they
very
filmed...
difficult to get a cab home.
It's where they filmed what video?
George Michael.
George Michael Club Tropicana.
Club Tropicana, drinks are free.
And of course, the main club room is Freddie Mercury's old bedroom.
What was his name? Real name? I heard someone talking.
Oh, Yog,
Yog, wasn't it? Yog, yeah.
And Freddie Mercury's old bedroom is the nightclub, which is incredible. And you've still got photos of Freddie on the wall with all the gang, all the fun times I'm sure he had there. What else opened this weekend? You had one of my good friends at O Beach. They had their soft opening, which went really well.
You know, this is a show about football, right? It's not about Ibiza.
But you know why?
Go on.
Because all the footballers are going to Ibiza as soon as it's done.
So they want
and the ones that are getting relegated, if I see any of them there, I'm
They're
sending
in
them
trouble.
home. I'm sending them home. You got relegated. You don't get Ibiza this season.
You better get back in the gym.
So, yeah, High, IIB for Schweier as well, and Universe all open this weekend. So that's why we play Get Down. But the reason why we're talking about Get Down is because we are talking about the relegation dogfight between your former clubs, because you played for Spurs, you managed West Ham, and it was thrilling yesterday afternoon.
Well, I see it coming down the line. Obviously, I wasn't watching the games or whatever, or seeing the highlights or anything. I was in a little booth waiting for the Manchester City Southampton game, hearing it coming down the line through Adrian, who had the earphones on, and all he kept going on about actually was handball. He said that must have been it's free handball. How can he not give that? That's what he was mainly talking about.
Yeah,
because that was the incident in the West Ham game at 1-0.
It was a joke.
So our producer, the Evertonian in there, is still sulking about.
Well, I'm sulking about it because it should have been an Evertonian penalty. It's a disgrace. He's flicked the ball up with his hand.
I have this golden rule, which I think should be the handball rule. If it's intentional, it's a penalty, right?
So when you flick your hand up to hit the ball...
No, he didn't. He didn't. He was manoeuvring his hand to control the player, to have the grip of the player. Nothing to do with the ball. It just happened to hit his hand.
He literally hit the ball with his hand up in the air like he's playing.
And anyway, in those situations, they come, they go, they even themselves out. That's what everybody tells you. Not when you're the manager, you don't think that. I can tell you, because they hurt when you don't get them. So he didn't get it. Unlucky. It still was 1-1. They still had a chance, Everton, to win the game. They didn't manage to do that. West Ham come up with a fantastic winning goal.
I tell you what, right? And I know, for example, Callum's not been playing that many minutes, and I think he's on a pay-to-play contract. And bonuses, obviously, goal bonuses.
Yeah.
Mate, he scored some important goals for them this season. He scored the winner against Spurs.
You know what? It was a great header by Bowen. You know, it was a great ball and a great header from Bowen, who's good in the air, by the way, for a wide player. He's got still great chance for starting for England, Bowen, by the way, in the form he's in. But that was an easy one to miss because it bounced a couple of times, and he done everything he could. He used all his experience to go, I'm going to get on top. I'm going to hit the top of the ball here. And he hit so much on top of the ball that he hit it down into the ground and then into the goal. But it's easy to have ballooned over the bar.
But he's always been a nuisance and an experienced Callum. He's a good.
And he's following in the right area. He knows exactly how to time that run. It's come to him perfectly.
But the irony of it all is West Ham's resurgence this season started against Dr. Spurs at the Spurs Stadium. And who got the winning goal?
Callum.
So if
well done, Callum. Give him a new deal.
I'll tell you who we want to doff our cap to from West Ham. Is Thomas Souček, because, they won yesterday, a massive game for them. He got the goal first and need to go 1-0 up. He's out there today clapping all the West Ham staff that are doing the marathon. He's at the side of the road.
He looks like one of those.
Listen, I've got a lot of time for Thomas Souček.
David Moyes bought him. I didn't realise that. Yeah. Moyes bought him in, and that's one of the West Ham's really one of their best signings in the last 10 years. Sure.
I agree. And
He's
you know what?
right up there.
I'm sure he was
6'4", 5".
I'm sure he was leaving. I saw he was leaving, and he ended up staying. And I think, you know what? Those players there, the Součeks, the Callum Wilsons, the Bowens, if West Ham stay up and Spurs don't, it's because they've got those players there. That, West Ham, they've got fight in them. And that's what scares me about this battle, is who's got the bigger fight.
So let's just round up where we are. Leeds, 9 wins, right? 40 points. The magical figure that I said to you, need 10 wins. Nottingham Forest, 39 points. West Ham, 9 wins, 36 points. Tottenham, after 34 games, have 8 wins and 34 points. Now, I looked at next weekend's fixtures, right? And I think next weekend is crucial. I'll tell you for why. West Ham are at Brentford, could lose, right? You agree?
Absolutely, yeah.
Lose there. You're at Aston Villa, you could lose.
Absolutely.
Chelsea, Nottingham Forest are at Chelsea. You've got to keep Forest in it, by the way. At 38 points.
Don't let them just go.
They're not gone. They're still in it.
Or
right?
Leeds.
So whoever gets a win, in whichever away team, West Ham, Tottenham or Forest, can get a win there, might be the win that you need to keep in the division. That's how important. Because I would say 2 of those 3 are definitely going to lose, in my opinion.
I agree.
Maybe you might get a point somewhere, but can you win one of them?
And that's Nottingham Forest have a huge game in Europe on Thursday.
Yeah,
that's something to take into account
against rivals, really. Midlands rivals, Aston Villa. What a game!
And Villa don't really have much downtime after that game when they play Spurs.
So you think that's a good thing? I would guess that Emery's focus will very much be on that semi-final.
Well, we know he's a specialist of that cup, don't we?
Yeah,
we know he is someone that knows how to win that cup.
Well, what he knows how to do is manage the squad. He seems to keep everybody on their toes, so that whoever plays on the Sunday in the Premier League game plays very well, and whoever plays in the cup plays very well. That's what he's brilliant at.
And we're going to be on air later than expected next Sunday after the back of that game, Villa Spurs. We're
getting the Horlicks in. We're in 9 to 11.
9 to 11 parts.
I could be asleep at the end. You'll have to keep.
You'll be doing it to me. You'll be falling asleep. West Ham fans, Spurs fans, get your calls in 03717 223344, and we want to hear from you.
You know, it was great. Well, I thought it was great because it's been a tricky season for both clubs. The celebrations of West Ham's win, right? The fans and also Tottenham's win. The win and the goal and everything. It's great to see. Sometimes in the relegation battles, you have your greatest moments, don't you?
Some joy.
They're just like so much relief comes out.
The limbs galore. Limbs. Limbs. Imagine Pards.
All right, Pards, you got any limbs going on?
Loads of limbs next.
TalkSPORT's Alex Crook has got some information about Enzo Maresca.
Yeah, I think the vibe coming out of the Northwest for some time now has been that Pep Guardiola is more likely to depart than to stay at the end of the season. Whether winning the Premier League title will influence that decision one way or another remains to be seen, but it does seem like the direction of travel is this is going to be the last few weeks of Pep Guardiola's tenure, despite the fact he's got another year left on his contract. There was always a suspicion, I think, from Chelsea that when Enzo Maresca left the club on New Year's Day, his next port of call would be Manchester City. TalkSPORT understands Maresca very much the front runner. Should, as expected, Pep Guardiola step down at the end of his trophy-laden tenure at the end of the season. There has been some suggestions that maybe there's still some contractual issues with Chelsea. We're being told by sources close to Maresca that he is free to take another job as soon as this summer. And I've been told by more than one source that high-level talks between Manchester City, their sporting director Hugo Viana, and Maresca have been taking place. Now, that's not to say City want Guardiola.
It is the final word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and FA Cup finalist as manager and player, Mr. Alan Pardew, on the FA Cup weekend, which saw Manchester City and Chelsea progress to the final. Southampton put in a valiant shift with an amazing goal, and Leeds United do better.
Yeah, as he quite rightly pointed out, and I said it on air yesterday. One of the tricks about winning a semi-final or a final is getting the balance of your squad in the right place. Not too nervous, not overconfident, just right. Just so that adrenaline and that it doesn't kick in and you're running around like a headless chicken and not listening to instruction. And Southampton got that right yesterday. They played very calmly, actually, and almost got through. Leeds today, a little bit frantic at times, a little bit rushed. I didn't think they got the balance quite right.
Yeah, it's a Man City-Chelsea final, then all Premier League final.
And let's be honest, two of the clubs that have won most trophies probably in the last 10 years. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely, the dominant forces of those clubs playing for all to see. Right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got a West Ham fan. Lewis joins us. How are we, Lewis?
Hi, boys. How you doing?
I'm worried about relegation, mate. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I am as well. But I just gave the phone up really because I think too much spotlight's been put onto Tottenham rather than how well West Ham are actually doing, to be honest. And there's a lot of all this VAR controversy, etc. But if you actually watch the game, West Ham should have actually had a penalty and Pickford should have been sent off. Don't get me wrong, the red card, the penalty for Fernandes is definitely a penalty, but Pickford should have also been given a penalty on Castellanos in the game. I just don't understand why the whole topic is about how Everton and Spurs got hard done by when realistically it evened itself out the whole time. But that's all you keep hearing all the time is how Spurs got hard done by. They should have had a red card, and West Ham got lucky because Everton should have had a penalty, etc. When realistically, if you actually watch the game, I honestly don't know how it's not a penalty for West Ham earlier on in the day.
Yeah. I mean, I'd just go to show, to say to you that there definitely is no Spurs agenda up here. And we're not, leaning on West Ham in that respect. But I think you're right. Those penalty calls and those decisions, they come and go for you, don't they? It's frustrating at times when they don't go your way, but it's just part and parcel of the game. In fact, VAR has taken some of that away, as we know, but it's still there. We still have grey areas that VAR and a referee can't get between, and that's true.
Well, yeah, I think it equals itself out eventually, and nothing's been said about. We've had 7 points in our last 3 games, and we've lost 2 in our last 13.
Yeah, it's a great run. It really is.
In all competitions, and everyone had us writ off. Jared Bowen's got 8 goals, 10 assists in the Premier League this year. He's the only. Him and Shirky are the only one in the whole Premier League which has got 10 goals, 10 assists in all comps, and nothing ever says about him. And everything that I always hear, not on this show, it just always seems to be about Spurs and never any praise for how well we're actually playing, considering how many, I think it was 13 points behind Spurs when we beat Spurs in January.
Yeah, you've definitely turned it round and you've definitely shown character and fight, and I think it needs to be
underlined. Yeah, no problem with that.
And Nuno's done a great job there.
And also in the last transfer window, the boys they brought in, Castellanos in particular, has added massively to that front line. I have heard West Ham fans moaning a little bit about him, but trust me, he does a great job. I thought even against Crystal Palace, where he probably didn't have his best game, he's still effective. And he still looks a threat, and he almost scored an overhead kick. Bowen and Somerville, and Souček behind them. That is a formidable team that have got good confidence, good form. And at the moment, you'd have to say, with the momentum that we're talking about here, it's going to be tough for Tottenham to catch them. And, the result yesterday was everything for Tottenham, Madge, wasn't it?
Oh,
For you?
massive.
Because if you hadn't won that game, I think you was done.
I think the way to look at it now for Spurs fans, and I know that some of the players are as well, is since De Zerbi's been in 2 games, it's 4 points. They've
Yeah.
not lost yet.
Yep.
So that really can create the momentum.
Correct.
To get that goal.
A little bit of belief.
I thought Tell was excellent in that build up to the corner that got the goal. I thought Kinski's last minute save was tremendous. That's going to give him confidence no end. Listen, how many times I've said it in this show, James Maddison as a figure, as a leader, I think De Zerbi's been very intelligent by putting him in the squad because all the fans have gone, Maddison's on the bench. The team are looking around. He's someone that can be looked at and go, but you know what? He might be called on sooner than we think after seeing the injury to Xavi Simons because it looked a bad one.
Yeah.
He got stretchered off.
Fingers crossed it isn't. I mean, this is a guy who's just come alive a little bit, hasn't he?
I know, and had the World Cup coming as well.
Yeah. So that would be a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, just going back to West Ham, I have to say that he has done a great job there. And for the first time for a long while, maybe since Moyes' European run, the fans are very much with the team and the manager. And that brings itself a sort of... It relieves the tension on the team. Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
And it's a bit like what you're saying with Tottenham De Zerbi. It's like relieving the tension a little bit. You're playing with a little bit more freedom. Oh, this manager's the one. We got it going, blah, blah, blah. So there is a managerial effect, definitely.
I will say, though, for West Ham, to go away to Brentford on Saturday is going to be a difficult one, especially where Brentford are in the table at the moment. A game in hand, they play Manchester United.
They're fighting for Europe.
They're fighting for Europe. So that's going to be very difficult, I think. And then they go to Newcastle away. Newcastle away is going to be so difficult because we're going to talk about Newcastle. They're under a lot of pressure.
The thing about when you play Brentford away, what I've noticed when I've seen Brentford away from at home, is that if you put the ball out 35 yards from your goal, you're in danger of conceding a goal because he can throw that ball. That boy, he throws it like a rocket, like Delap used to, into that 6-yard box. And if not, it's a corner or it's a free kick. You've got to be really studious in your defensive work that you don't give away throw-ins even.
Yeah. And I tell you what, with Newcastle...
They create great pressure with it.
With Newcastle as well, right? They're not in the mixer, but they're not safe yet.
Who?
Newcastle.
No, of course they are.
Listen, they're not safe.
They're safe. They're on 43 points.
They're on 42 points.
Right, 42 points. You're not catching them.
If they were to lose every game between...
They're not going to lose every game.
But...
They've got far too much quality.
I know that, and you know that. But I'm saying it can happen.
No, it will not happen.
Listen, I agree it's not going to happen.
Mathematically possible is the only thing I can let you get away.
Right, okay, say for example, yeah?
Go on, say it. Mathematically, it is possible.
If Leeds and Nottingham Forest win their next game and Newcastle don't, they jump above Newcastle, and all of a sudden it's Newcastle West Ham.
But I think if they win another game, I think they're done as well.
Who?
If Leeds win another game, they're on 42 points. I think they're done.
Yeah,
they're safe.
Agreed.
And I think if Forest win on 42 points with the goal difference they got, I think they're done. So then it really is, and I think you should trust me as football manager.
I do trust
you.
I'm
a bit of a stats man. It's out of you. And I mean Spurs in this, this example, and West Ham.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And you.
Although, listen,
slug it out.
If West Ham win the next game,
they got to win. They still got to win that game.
That next game will really show us exactly where we are for the.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest. The only reason because their front three was awesome. Hutchinson's come alive. The boy from Ipswich was absolutely brilliant Friday night. The obviously the semi-finals. If they lose players to injury, if Woods gets injured, he's been massive since he's come back, made an impact already. It could be problematic, but I don't think so. And I think Leeds losing that semi-final today will be enough for them to turn it on Friday, particularly the way that they're going to get slightly criticised tomorrow in the press, definitely, and that will arm them Friday night. They'll burn up Burnley.
Yeah. Let's go to Glenn. He's a Spurs fan. He joins us. How are we, Glenn?
Glenn Oddle.
That's a bad omen for the Spurs relegation battle.
We can't even get Glenn on. We can't
even get Glenn on. Glenn don't fancy. He's not up for the battle. We've had the West Ham fan on. He was up for...
He's left early.
No, Glenn's here. We've got Glenn.
He's back. He's come back in the stadium.
Glenn, how you there, mate?
Mate, they called me twice. I think they might want me to come down and grab a spare headset, mate.
Do it, mate. There's a spare seat next to us. How are you?
Yeah, all good. You can probably guess from my name who I support. And yeah, I agree with the West Ham fans, to be honest. They shouldn't be in this situation. But then, you know, who do you blame, really? What on earth Kolo Muani had in his boots the other day? I don't know. Did you? I don't know. Obviously, were you at the game or did you watch it?
I was painfully watching the Wolves game on Saturday.
That bloody sun was bad, wasn't it?
You couldn't see anything.
Well, I think fortunately for Kolo Muani, because I don't know, there was about 4 times he seemed to have a banana attached to his foot where he couldn't pass the ball 10 freaking yards. You know, the geezer's meant to be worth 90 million, and we've signed him. He's just another like Timo Werner. It's another, you know.
Do you know what? He's a strange one, Kolo Muani, because you can tell I know he's going to sound mad after seeing some of the poor stuff he does. There's definitely a football player in there. There is somewhere. I've seen it.
But you can't play him out on the wing, though.
No way. And obviously, everyone was dropping like flies. We lost Solanke, we lost Xavi.
Yeah, when I heard that coming down the line, I suddenly thought to myself, wow, this is this destiny with Spurs? Just seems to be so they seem getting no breaks, as well as having a team that's dysfunctional. There's no doubt about that. It ain't the best.
And no one ever getting red cards against us, and penalties not being given when people are dancing with the ball in their hands.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, you're completely right, because obviously, sliding doors they talk about. If you'd have had West Ham drew that game, we still had them 2 fully fit, how much more confident would you feel going into, the 4 or 5 games we've got left?
Yeah.
I actually reckon if that had happened, we would have got a good result against Villa. I now think, they're either going to have to rush Mads back, or where are you going to see goals coming from? Because, again, you've got a load of workhorses in there with frigging Gallagher, Kulusevski, mate, it's every bloody midfielder. But I can't, and again, you look at Chelsea at the minute, all the crap that's going on with them, it seems like the perfect time to play them, again, if we had an half-decent forward line. But I don't know, like, would you put any Spurs front 5, would you put them in any of the top 10 teams?
Oh, no way at the moment. It's
And that's what, when you're just talking about money and you're talking about, he costs this much and he costs that much. We sort of sometimes, we're so flippant about saying a 40, 50 million player, he ain't been that good. 40, 50 million quid. Do you know what I mean? It's a hell of a lot of money. When you look at some of the examples, look at Shirky, cost 35 million out of Lyon. And you look down at Bournemouth and some of the transfers Brighton have done over the years, etc., Matoma, etc. It's just bizarre that some of these players actually get an easy ride for the valuation and what they're expected to bring. And Spurs definitely have got 4 or 5 players in there. Wow. Why are they at that football club?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Thiago at Brentford, who is the second top goal scorer after Haaland.
And chasing Haaland hard, by the way. He might beat him.
He's come from Club Brugge to Brentford, right, for a fee of 33 million euros.
Mm.
Do you know what it is, Glenn? And I think, I don't know if Glenn's still there or not, but I think with Spurs there's been a lot of vanity projects, things that look good. Oh, he's come from Juventus. He was in the academy here. Even down to Igor Tudor, right? When we brought him in, he's been at Juventus, he's been here, he's been there.
Saved him.
It's crazy because I didn't really want him in at the first place. But
it might come down to the fact that agents are always going to have a good CV in their portfolio. They've always got someone. They've always got a Majestic. They've got a top of the range DJ. Do you know what I mean? Definitely, they've got one of them. And if
they can do the job.
Yeah, but unless you look beneath it, unless you've done your work, unless you've studied and know all the numbers, and that's where Brighton and Brentford have got an advantage. They got 2 owners who have been in the betting world all their lives. They know the numbers. They've brought those numbers and utilised that knowledge into football, and they're coming out with players that other clubs just are nowhere near.
Yeah.
And that is why they've had such success.
03717 223344. Keep your Spurs and West Ham fans calls in right now. 03717 223344. So Spurs fans, West Ham fans, you want your say. Which one of those clubs are going down this summer? You're listening to the final word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. It all starts with a spin. 18 plus. Gameway.org. It started with a spin.
Darren Bent had his sound drive show earlier, suggested a left field option.
I would go for someone in that type of concept that Jill Scott's talking about.
Yeah.
I would go for like Igor Thiago from Brentford.
He's been above and beyond.
He has been unbelievable.
How many goals has he got?
I think
he's second on the Premier League list.
He's got 21.
I think he's second.
Yeah, he's the first Brentford player to go to 21 Premier League goals because Ivan Toney at 20, Visit at 20, and Mbeumo at 20.
Unbelievable.
Do you know what I mean? And Brentford are now on the cusp of Europe. I know they're 9th right now, but if you look at where they are on the table, I mean, they're only, 2 points over 6th.
Igor Thiago, yeah, he's had a great season.
Yes, he has.
He has, and fair play to the lad. He's got himself in the Brazil squad, and he's a good player.
Yep.
Is that what we're talking about, though? A
No,
Brentford player getting a player of the season?
No, I can't agree with Benty, but he has done unbelievably well, and he's a bit of a throwback. I kind of hope a little bit that what we see with Haaland and Gabriel the other day, where there's that centre half against the centre forward, where you're going toe to toe, backing the players. And he's a little bit of a throwback. Those number 9s that we used to see in the Premier League, they don't exist anymore. They're tippy-tappy football. It's the game is all about scoring goals. If you score goals on a consistent basis, you're going to get the headlines, right? And he's doing both.
It is the final word phone in here on talkSPORT Sunday evening with me, Majestic, alongside experienced Premier League manager Alan Pardew. Big shout out to the gang in the gallery working hard. Matt training around London trying to find us a coffee after the London Marathon. There's nothing left. It's like Ian Bill, there's nothing to show.
Clean the city out.
I've got nothing left. We are working hard until 9 p.m. this evening when the Trans-Europe Express rolls into town. And we are watching Milan against.
We're working hard. I would say we're sort of trying to give some therapy and some answers to the questions that people are posing.
I will, as a Spurs fan right now, every time I walk into this building, it's hard work for me. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Do you get a side look? People not looking at you and all that.
Yeah, they're embarrassed for you.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh.
Oh, where's your manager? I've seen that look a lot. Yeah.
Currently, Milan 0, Juventus 0 in Serie A. We're watching that, Pards.
Yeah, obviously the Italians who have not qualified for the World Cup, trying to get through the back door for FIFA and Trump, etc., which is a possibility.
I got to have the Italians. I love the Italians. You got to be in New York. They're great people.
Yeah, so they got that going on. And their club sides not really done anything this year.
The screen's gone crazy behind us. Don't forget you can watch us on YouTube and your smart TVs. We are going to do some shout-outs in a moment's time. 03717223344. And do you know what I love about our people on the Sunday pods?
Go on.
They never let us down.
No.
There's never been a week where our final word listeners let us down. Everything else might let us down.
Hay fever.
There's some gremlins going on with our screens as well, by the way. I do apologise. But let's head over to our voice messages. As we've asked you for voice messages, and you didn't disappoint us. It was a very eclectic mix. Let's start with Nelly.
Go on, Nelly.
Who's sending his best wishes to those who run the London Marathon.
Congratulations to anybody who completed the London Marathon, especially anybody with the kitchen appliance on the back.
The kitchen appliance on the back?
Did he do it? Is that what you're saying?
That's crazy. We've been inundated with happy Man United fans, starting with Shin.
Yes, Madge, respect, man. Yes, big up to the big Man United tomorrow night playing Brentford. I think we're just about there qualifying for Champions League, but we've got to give Carrick the job and we've got to build in a squad for a big campaign next season. We want to be challenging for the Premiership, Premier League, Champions League and all the domestic trophies next season, so we've got to build in that squad. Big up, my brother.
He sounds happy, Shin, didn't he? Another happy Red Devils fan is Dan, who sent us his thoughts on the managerial situation.
Hi boys, it's Dan from Weymouth, United fan, and I'm so happy that he's managed to turn it around. But I got this feeling in the bottom of my stomach that they're going to go for another manager. But I don't know. I think they should stick with. I think if he wins the last 3 games of our league, and concrete number 3 position, because obviously them two are battling it out till the last game. I can see that happening, Arsenal and City. And City will win this Premier League. I'm quite sure of it. But I think United should stick with Carrick, and let's see what happens next season.
Let's do some marathon shout-outs as well. talkSPORT's very own producers, Ed Huntley and Joe Overall. They ran it today, both around 4 hours.
That's good. That's a good time.
Yeah. Virgin Radio's Chris Evans and Emma B. They also ran it today. Well
Chris
done.
Evans did it again?
Yeah.
He's done it before, I think.
I'm sure he has.
He's always been into his running.
And friend of producer Ross, Emma Chandler ran it for the charity Sense today. Great charity indeed. And this here is from Peter Cuss, who says, big shout to Selena, completing the London Marathon, raising money for 7 Hospice in Shrewsbury. She ran the marathon in 3 hours and 50 minutes. And well done to talkSPORT Shaban Ahern. And Craig said, could you shout out to the Elsford veterans who won the Kent Veterans Cup today?
Elsfield?
Elsford, yeah.
What, in London? My manor.
Elsford veterans. Who won the
Starfields.
They won the Kent Veterans Cup on Friday night, beating Barnhurst 3 goals to 1.
It can't be Elsfield.
This is the biggest over 35 competition in the southeast of England.
What was the cup again?
The Kent Veterans Cup.
Okay.
Well, the over 35.
There's a national cup, for over 35s, veterans.
Really?
Yeah, over 50, I think.
Oh wow, super vets.
Yeah, and I was in that. Played a couple of games in that.
What post?
After I finished my career, yeah, with Malden Nomads, my old team, and that I used to play for when I was young. So that they all got older, and then we entered the national cup competition. Got beat somewhere at Wolverhampton. Wolves turned us over. A working club from Wolves.
03717 223344 is the number to call. We got Manny, the Spurs fan, who joins us. How are we, Manny?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you much. Great show as usual, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I would say, unfortunately, supporting Spurs, I think West Ham got more fight in them. You can see it, whatever. They just wanted more. And I think whatever happens with Spurs, staying up or going down, I think one thing everybody seems to forget is that, changing coaches and everything, but the core of the players are the same as last season. So 2 seasons in a row, we're basically struggling for relegation. And I think it's time to finally, cut the cloth and get rid of some of those, in brackets, established players and build on the youth like Bergwall and Archie Gray. I'm sure the under-21s would be more than happy to be told, you're going to play the last 4 games, and if you keep us up, you're going to get a professional contract. They would have run their heart out, and I think the team we got at the moment is just not gelling enough to be able in that relegation fight. You need a unit, you need strength, you need trust in each other, and the games I've been through, like Fulham and Crystal Palace, after 3 minutes, they started to fight in between themselves. And I think that is the main difference, which is speaking against Spurs this season. And so
if you're gonna avoid relegation, you got to have that fight in the group. And the one thing there's a couple of things that worry about the Spurs team. One is a driving force from midfield, someone who can really grab the game. Now Paulinho, sometimes when he was at Fulham, he used to be able to do that. You haven't really seen it at Tottenham. Bits and bobs of him. He needs to come alive. And obviously the offensive line needs to produce. And that is probably where, if you foul, as you did mainly last year in the league, it is because of that reason. You just can't seem to get enough goals. And therefore you leak. And once you leak, you lose games. When I'm looking at them now, let's be honest, do you really, just think of the reality. You'll be playing Lincoln next year. It's just incredible to think.
We need that season end magic when Jurgen Klinsmann came back to save us from relegation in 97, 98, Manny.
That would be ideal. But no, realistically speaking, as I said, like the players we got, if you look at the team sheet by the names, no way we should be down there. But like I said, 2 seasons in a row, and Xavi is trying his best, but you can see he's not connecting to the rest up front. And he can play a magic pass, but there's nobody at the end of it, And I said, I'm sure there's youngsters. You know, I mean, Spurs managed to loan out Vukovic to Hamburg, and he's playing a blinder of a season.
Yeah.
You know, and we loan out youngsters which play in League One and League Two, even as strikers. Now, call them back. They want to play for Spurs. We loaned them out, but they want to play. They're going to fight. And what we got at the moment is not enough. So,
Manny,
anyway,
let me tell you
thank
something.
You very much, guys.
If you get relegated, you'll be seeing a lot more of those younger players.
Well, you know what? I think Manny's right in terms of a big reset is needed at Spurs. And we're going to get it regardless if it's in the Premier League or the Championship next year. But the worry for me is in that Championship, we are not armed with the players to get back up. You know, those players that have got the fight in them, etc. You know, the Championship is such a difficult
And it's a different football. You know,
100%.
I watched Coventry game today, and although Coventry, and I think we got a Coventry fan coming on, have been head and shoulders above everybody else, and Frank's done a brilliant job there. Some of the football is still Championship type football.
Yeah.
It's fight. There's a lot of balls where you've got to win seconds, and you know in the Premier League there's not so much of that.
Well, let's have it. I believe that when people come to that Spurs stadium and other fans, because it's such a great stadium, it's like a big day out.
It'll be like an FA Cup final.
That's what I'm saying. And that's
Every game.
so difficult for
Yeah.
Spurs. Keep your marathon shout-outs coming in and WhatsApp messages. The number is 03717 223344. Put your name, your message, and your time and charity if you run the marathon. Coming up soon, we'll look at the title races. Arsenal go top and put more pressure on Eddie Howe and talk about Daniel Mundo's controversial goal against Liverpool. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. You're listening to The Final Word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. It all starts with a spin. 18 plus, gamblingaware.org.
You found the mask?
I found the mask.
It's just who we are, mate. I'm not going to lie. I hope you lost it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Mate, do you know, it's half hot in here. And I can't... So you don't realise what it's like. I've had a Arteta on. I'm going to have to take this off, mate. Well, I can't.
No? You what?
Wow, it's hot. I've got to take my top off, mate. I can't keep doing this, mate. I can't keep doing this.
What is going on?
What? What do you mean?
What is this?
What's what?
Is this talkSPORT merch?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my God, he's got a shirt. You've now got a shirt on. You're kidding me. What is this shirt? What is this?
I don't know what you're on about, mate. I just knocked this whole thing up.
So for people who are not watching on YouTube right now, Cundy has got a T-shirt with the Ange mask. I've seen signs, encouraging signs. Is this talkSPORT merch? Where are you getting this stuff from? Who is making this stuff for you? It's bang out of order. I'm going to HR. This is not on. Honestly, they're gonna go off the shelves. Then, by the way,
and Spurs.
They are going to go off the shelves. Who made that?
I did.
You're out of order.
Well, I had 10 minutes spare. I thought, what can I do? No, I think. What do you think of the fit?
It's all right. It's muscle fit. It's good muscle fit.
Formula One. It's a sport often seen as insular and elitist, but it's seen a meteoric rise under its owners Liberty Media, not only in popularity and viewership, but in the ability to almost print money. From greater access to more races, here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Eccleston agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year, in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American-branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across the social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Good evening and welcome to the Final Word Phone-In with me, Majestic, alongside experienced Premier League gaffer Alan Pardew. Right now, we're the only place on national radio taking your calls about all things football. So keep them coming into us on 03 717 22 3344. Soon, we're going to talk about Liverpool keeper Freddie Woodman.
Ready.
And Mystic Pardew will be telling us which manager could be going where this summer. Mystic Pards.
You know, a little bit of to in and fro-in.
But now it's time for the quiz that's more exciting. They get promoted back to the Football League in the 103rd minute. Many congratulations to York City. And it's got more tension than an I'm a Celebrity All-Stars final with Jimmy Bullard and co. That's right, it's the mystery football.
What's all that about?
I liked it.
Did you?
I did like it.
Okay, you know when that comes on telly, that sort of confrontational stuff, I turn it off.
You see, Harry,
I can't cope with it.
Harry
EastEnders, I can't watch it.
Harry just stepped back. I've seen it in the changing room loads of times. He just let them do it.
Harry was.
Yeah, the gaffer just sat back, didn't he? It's the mystery footballer quiz. It's simple to play. All you need to do is tell us which famous footballer is linked to these 3 songs. Remember, it can be the clubs you played for, a nickname, or even a movie about them. There's your clues. So, DJ Kitch, drop the bomb. Remember this one, Pods?
Let's spend the night together. Now I need you more than ever. Let's spend the night together.
So we had Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me from U2. Let's Spend the Night Together, the Rolling Stones. And Here Comes the Good Times, Ireland's 2002 World Cup song that's been forgotten.
Here comes what?
Here Comes the Good Times. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me by U2. What film was that from, Pards?
I don't even remember that song.
You're not?
No.
It was from the OST, which stands for?
No idea.
Original Soundtrack.
Right.
Of Batman Forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know the Batman that had
when he's in the cave.
That's every Batman. This is the one that had Jim Carrey as the Riddler and Tommy Lee as the
Yeah. Not one of my
Two-Face.
favourites.
It wasn't. It was
It's a
one
poor movie.
It wasn't the best one.
Are we allowed to say that on air, aren't we? It's poor movie.
It wasn't the greatest of the Batmans. And
Who's
it was,
International didn't make it, did they?
I think Val Kilmer was the Batman that time.
One of the worst. Who was the worst Batman ever?
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Wow. He really couldn't be bothered. You said, what am I doing here? I should be on a coffee ad, just earning the same sort of money for like a minute, rather than this 2-hour slog I've got to do in this uniform.
Yeah, no.
His art weren't in it.
George Clooney wasn't the best. Michael Keaton or Christian Bale. They're the best Batman.
Yeah, probably. I don't know who I'd go.
Val Kilmer was epic in Top Gun. R.I.P. Val Kilmer, great actor.
Well, of course, but you're either brilliant in the particular role or you're not.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't his best moment. But I think I would go Christian Bale actually.
Yeah,
got a little edge to him.
Yes,
a bit like Batman, and you're not, because Batman's not like an all too gooder. He's got a bit of badness in him.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
It's quite good, yeah.
So the U2. But of course, on the same soundtrack was Seal's "A Kiss from a Rose."
Now that is a song.
Which I think.
Why couldn't we just have that song and make us play her up out of that song?
Who should have really?
Yeah.
If you think you know the answer to the mystery football quiz with those clues, text us on 81089 or WhatsApp for free on 03717223344 and tell us who your favourite Batman was.
And we ain't really give any clues away there. I think that's a tough one.
Yeah. Who was your favourite? We need to do overnights. Imagine Pards overnight. And who was the best Batman? Message Imagine Pards tonight. Right, it's time to go to Russell, the Coventry fan who joins us. How are we, Russ?
Yeah, come on to Coventry.
Champions, ole, ole, ole. How are we, Pards? How are we, Madge?
The cover back. They're back.
Cover back. Madge, I didn't realise your name was Kev. What do you prefer, Madge or Kev?
You can call me whatever you like. You're the champs.
Probably like me, mate. You've been called worse in your time, yeah?
Exactly.
Boys, where do I even begin? Do you know what? I'll start by saying this. I think it was probably about 2 years ago, 2024. I phoned this very show. And Pards, Madge, you were the hosts. And it was walking back to... I've just got back into the car after we'd been beaten on pens by United in the FA Cup semi-final.
I remember it.
Oh, yeah.
And to talk about contrasting situations, feelings, it's like night and day, right? Because I was absolutely devastated back then. Compare it to today, I'm euphoric. It's been a long time coming, 25 long years. We've been starved of top flight football. And I have to say, super Frank Lampard, what a manager he has been for our club, this great club with a rich history. A big, not even a big club. We're a massive club. The Jimmy Hill days, winning the FA Cup in '87. We are back in the big time. Don't forget, we were one of the longest serving, Premier League, Premiership as it was back then, teams, along with the likes of Everton and Arsenal before we obviously got relegated all those years ago. It feels like our rightful place to be back in the top flight. And given the setup and big shout out to Doug King because he has put his money where his mouth is. The setup at Coventry now, we are Premiership through and through. Premier League.
Do you own the stadium, Russell?
We absolutely do. And that was the day we beat QPR 7-1, I think it was back when Doug announced the fact that he'd bought the stadium from Mike Ashley. And it's, everybody knows the history of Coventry over the last sort of decade where we've been playing our home games at Northampton and Birmingham. Utterly, abhorrent, just really, really on our knees. And don't forget, we nearly went, we could have gone extinct, several years ago. And I'm hoping I'm articulating myself well, guys, because I'm well oiled, as you can imagine. I've been on.
You're entitled to be.
Absolutely. So,
Let me ask you a question, Russell. Obviously, Frank has done an absolutely brilliant job. That we all can see that. Tell me the top 3 players that you're going to need in the Premier League, i.e., the players this year. Your top 3 players this year that are going to be absolutely important to you in next year in the Premier League. Who are the 3 that we got to look out for?
So to clarify, Paz, are you talking about existing players amongst the ranks that we have now? Or
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the players you got now. No, the players you got now who are going to be so important to you next year because they're the ones who keep you up. You can bring new players in, but usually it's that little core group. You got 2 or 3 in there that have been leading the charge.
Yeah, it's an easy question for me to answer. Our captain, Matt Grimes. I cannot speak highly enough of Matty Grimes. He is an absolute baller. He's a 8 out of 10 every single game. I'm not kidding you guys. Is a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. He does all the simple things perfectly.
Well, yeah.
And he's got those Hollywood passes in him as well.
How much did you pay for him, Russell? Can you remember?
I honestly can't remember.
We'll look it up.
I can't remember, to be fair. I think it was Frank that signed him in a January transfer window.
Okay.
Not long after that Doug had appointed him. So he's not been with us that long, to be honest, because if you know your football, obviously you do, guys, he'd spent most of his career, if not all of his career, at Swansea. So it was a big coup for us to get somebody of his experience at that time. Second, I'd have to say Jack Redoni, because, you know, he has been a revelation for us. He's just a baller too. I think Frank came out in an interview not so long ago after I can't remember who we played now, but he said it was basically, in his eyes, he was a Champions League player that night because he came on as a sub, scored a goal, made a goal.
Changed the game.
Changed the game.
Third choice.
Third choice, Ephraim Mason-Clark. Mate, we signed him from Peterborough a few seasons back. And I'll be honest, I'll be the first person to say, during his first season with us, I was a bit underwhelmed with his performances. He'd just won League One Player of the Season, I think it was, when we'd signed him. And we'd signed him for a fair amount of money as well. And I thought, okay, is he all that? I tell you what, I've been proven so wrong. I've been proven so wrong because he is one of the best wingers I've ever seen. So if I could say all the players, yeah, I mean we're going to lose some. We're going to need to recruit well. We're going to have to spend big. And I've heard a couple of rumours, and I hope Mystic Pards might be able to help clarify these for me, or shed some light maybe.
Mystic
so the first one
Pards.
being,
go on.
Morgan Gibbs-White was at the game today, right? However, I've also had it on good authority from a good mate of mine who's a big Forest fan, said he was there to support his mate Latabodier, who plays for us. He didn't feature today, but yeah, would be nice though, wouldn't it? I'm not going to get carried away.
Yeah, I think you are getting a little bit carried away. I think, Russell, that juice is starting to kick in. Let me just go. The reason I wanted to ask you for those 3 names, right? Because this is what really bugs me about the Premier League, where we have international technical directors who are foreign, managers who are foreign. They don't look in the Championship. They don't understand it. They don't think the numbers add up to be Premier League players. And yet, when teams get promoted, suddenly, they're good enough. Yeah. And I can bet your life that these 3 players will probably save you about 35 million next year.
Absolutely. Great call. Well done to commentary and Frank Lampard. And, good to have them.
And then to Russell. Yeah, it looks like he's been through some dark days in that 25 years.
He's going to be gutting the Spurs.
That club did nearly go to the wall. I know that for a fact because obviously Mike Ashley was, having a sniff around that in terms of taking it over at one time. And so they have been to really low.
Soon we'll be discussing a summer manager merry-go-around. But right now, keep your marathon WhatsApp messages coming into us on 03717 223344. This is the final word on talkSPORT.
Cole Palmer, he hasn't turned up all season. I said this yesterday. If you were naming the England squad today, Eze, Gibbs-White and Morgan Rogers miles ahead of Cole Palmer. 22 appearances this season in the Premier League, only 9 goals, 1 assist, and his last goal was the 4th of March against Aston Villa. He's not turned up. And when there's a game where a manager needs one of his top players against Brighton, he's in the stands. What did the physio who picked the team under Maresca say? You know, you've got a 10% chance of getting injured, Cole. Take it easy against Brighton. Go and sit in the stand. Like, we come for the players like Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, Garnacho maybe, but let's look closer to home as well. For me, Cole Palmer this season been a disappointment.
Not just this season, actually. If you look at his form in the second half of last season, this is a decline that's been going on for a long time.
He won the Club World Cup final single-handedly.
He turned up for that.
He turned the Conference League final on its head after half.
What about in the Premier League, the second half of last season?
Well, he played more games than anybody else, and he was certainly Chelsea's best player over the course of the season.
This season, though, he's not been good enough. When you look at
He's been struggling with a groin injury, and if you speak to Thomas Tuchel, he'll tell you that he couldn't run properly for the first half of the season.
When you look at your Maverick players like Cole Palmer, he's earning a lot of money, long-term contract, paid a good fee for him. He's not done enough.
Hold me, thrill me, kiss me, kill me. You too, here on talkSPORT.
Let's spend the night together.
The Rolling Stones with Let's Spend the Night Together.
Let's spend the night together.
And here comes the good times, the Ireland 2002 World Cup song. And if you think you know the answer to the mystery footballer quiz with those clues, text us on 810-89 or WhatsApp us for free on 03717 22 3344. It is the final word here on talkSPORT with me, Madge, and Alan Pardew. Imagine Pards on a Sunday evening. Let's talk about some of the other games from the weekend. Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 1. Liverpool Palace, a famous fixture in your world, Pards.
Yes, over the years.
Crystal Palace's Daniel Munoz scores when Liverpool goalkeeper Freddie Woodman was down injured. What did you make of that?
Yeah, well, firstly, I was absolutely overjoyed to see young Freddie get in that team, and he's not disappointed. Absolutely brilliant performance. But he comes out to make a challenge. He gets involved in sort of an aerial challenge, ends up on his back, with an injury. The ball comes out to the side of the box. Munez sees that he's on the floor and chips it in the goal. Now, you could look at that a number of ways. I've seen Glasner's interview where he says if it would have been, if the boy would have been seriously injured, he would have told his team to score an own goal and even it up. I'm not sure I believe that. I don't know how you would have done that. Would I have put it in the back of the net if I was Munez? Probably yes, I would have. Was it the right thing to do? I don't really think he had a lot of time to think about it. I've looked at it a couple of times. It's not like he had a load of time to go, oh, right, I'm going to chip him. It sort of come to him and instinctively you see the goal on the floor and chips it in the goal. And I thought he was just like, well, if he gives it, he gives it. Do you know what I mean? So that was his sort of attitude to it. I wouldn't put it down to sort of bad sportsmanship. I think he see an opportunity and took it. And therefore, I can understand why Liverpool fans are absolutely incensed by that. When your goal is on the floor, you don't expect to concede a goal. And if I was manager, I would be too. But I can see the other side of the coin as well. So it's one of them. I think, fortunately, it wasn't important because Liverpool went on to win the game.
Yeah.
Could have been. A great goal. Nice to see him score one of the, a bit of a highlight of the season for him, I think, that goal. Because, we're expecting so much from was he the most expensive player in the Premier League? I think he is.
He's up there with them, wasn't he?
Isaac and him probably the 1 and 2, and both of them had disappointing seasons. So good for him, but more so for Freddie Woodman. Absolutely, what brilliant for him, and the manager pushing him out. Oh, the players were to the cop to get a standing ovation by the cop.
Brilliant,
that was a nice moment.
It reminded me of that game with Paolo Di Canio. I think was they playing Everton? And he, yeah.
Yeah,
Gerrard was
the
down.
ball gets crossed to him,
And
doesn't he?
literally holds the ball.
Yeah.
That's sportsmanship for you.
Yeah. Of course, it was a great moment. And Paolo was such a maverick that he, you wouldn't expect that kind of thing from him. But because he was a maverick, he did it, and it was a great moment and one of the great footballing sportsman stories. I think he won an award for it. Actually, I seem to vaguely remember from FIFA, which was quite right.
And he pushed the referee over.
Yeah, well, no, not so much then. No. Yeah, but that's him. That's what I'm saying. You go one extreme to the other. He was very much like that when he played. And apparently the training ground, he was, there's numerous stories. I've been to loads of West Ham events where Paolo's stories are top of the list.
I bet they are.
Yeah.
Don't forget Shakhtar Donetsk against Crystal Palace, the Conference League semi-final, first leg live on talkSPORT 2 this Thursday. More possible silverware for Glasner.
How bizarre that Nottingham Forest, right, got elevated because of Crystal Palace, the dual ownership, although he owns Olympiacos and, manoeuvred things a little bit. They're in the semi-final and Palace are in the semi-final of the conference. The difference financially between the two is quite big.
I bet it is.
Massive.
Where is Oliver Glasner going, Pards?
Yeah, I've got him going back to Germany.
They're the ones in Germany.
Yeah, I think he's obviously Austrian. He would be a good fit for one of those top German clubs. I think he'll have he'll go back there.
Interesting.
I'm not so sure there's a place for him in the Premier League that I can see. Got others though.
Let's go for a list of managers then, because there's a few available this summer, isn't there? Big ones as well.
Yeah, I've got it in as penciled in as this. Alonso, I think, is the capture. If you can get Alonso to your club.
Now, okay, so then Liverpool, do they move on Arne Slot, who won the Premier League with them last season, to go and get Alonso in? Liverpool,
well, I think you've got to look at it. If you're going to look at the financial situation, Alonso isn't going to cost you a transfer fee. And taking all his staff would all be involved with a new contract with a new club. There's a real window of opportunity. I think they're going to have to make a big call in the summer. Slot has had a strange season. He could still end up in the Champions League. So, is that enough with the injuries and the problems that he's had? So that's an interesting one. But if he isn't going to Liverpool, I think Man United would be interested. And I think Irola from Bournemouth. Am I saying that right? Irola? Am I saying that right? Iriola. He's number 2 in the list for me. So, and the reason they're 1 and 2 in the list, purely on their CV, their financial situation, i.e., they're both free transfers, i.e., they're not obligated by any contracts, so they are top of their game. So they would be my top 2, and then below that, I got Glasner going to Germany. I've got Silva, who's out of contract at Fulham. I think he'll sign a new contract there. I'm not so sure, with experience he's had at Everton, where he went there and it didn't quite work out. I think it might be better for him actually to do another year there. He's had a great season at Fulham, and I think Fulham could get in Europe. So let's see how that evolves. I know Fulham definitely want him to stay. They've offered him a contract, and hopefully he'll sign it. And then I've got Palace, because obviously Glasner's going to go. So I've got Thomas Frank going in there.
I tell you what, that's not a bad shout. Here's one for you as well.
Go on.
We know Iriola's leaving Bournemouth. There's nothing they can do about it.
Only offer him a bag of money, but it ain't going to be enough.
Eddie Howe back to Bournemouth.
Well, he's in a job at Newcastle at the moment. He's under a little bit of pressure, though, with the results and the media up there.
Could you see this one? About this? Glasner going to Newcastle.
Possible if they decide to move Eddie on. I still think personally I'd love Eddie to stay, and I think he is the man for Newcastle. There's a lot of changes need to happen there, but those 2 transfers who both actually created a chance in the game. Oldemar clipped it in, didn't he? And Weezer should have scored really.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 players could cost him his job, because in that transfer window, those were the 2 that needed to come good, really. After the
started good for Voldemar.
Yeah, he hasn't really worked out.
Voldemar.
So let's see how that unfolds. But Yeah, so that's it's a cloudy picture though. Some great managers available for.
And you've left off people like Amorim.
There's loads of people. I mean, Stevie Gerrard was on the TV tonight. I think Stevie Gerrard's a good take for the Premier League.
Alan Pardew.
But also, when you look at Frank Lampard, what he's done, I think Stevie Gerrard could do that somewhere too.
Agreed.
I'm always available, Madge. Huh? I'm available other than Sunday nights.
The Sunday nights.
Lloyd, I'm going to stick with you, mate.
Stick with me, okay. And of course, I'll be part of the backroom staff as like psychology and music.
Oh, definitely. I've seen some psychologists who have worked for me who've got less skill set than you. Let me tell you that by some distance.
I'll take that as a compliment.
That is a compliment.
03717 223344 is the number to call us. Next up, we're going to be talking about very different fortunes for Arsenal and Newcastle. You're listening to The Final Word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas.
Vegas.
It all starts with a spin. 18 plus, gamblingaware.org.
I've been saying this all season. They don't want to get rid of Arne Slot. Other media outlets are now reporting that he's going to stay come what may, particularly as they look like they're going to get
what you've been saying
all along, Cookie.
Yeah, but what I was going to say, when you've got this much upheaval, do you really want to add a change of manager into the mix as well? Particularly when you've got a manager who did win the Premier League last year. Well, he's not useless, is he, Arne Slot?
I think he deserves another go at it. But when he comes out and says we need to sell players, I don't think that's right, is it?
That's always been the Liverpool way. These are not owners who...
FSG don't spend loads of money. They don't just lavish loads of cash.
Who in that squad, though, is going to bring in a lot of money? Who's going to bring in a lot of money in that
Jones will
squad of
bring you
players?
20 million quid.
Okay, who else?
Alexis McAllister, potentially. Not had a great season. Bit of interest from Real Madrid, I'm hearing.
Allison, did they cash in on Allison?
Well, he spoke about him today, actually, and he said that he doesn't respond to rumours.
I think he'll stay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well,
Mamardashvili's not proved himself to be ready yet.
No, not quite yet. Let's just say that. 03717223344. By the way, Arne Slot staying. He had said it.
He said all along.
Yep. Months.
Yep.
Well done. See, that's proper.
On the podcast. What's the podcast?
Podcast Premier League All Access. If you just have a look towards your left-hand side, if you're watching on YouTube.
It is the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and experienced Premier League manager Alan Pardew, and it's a privilege to be with you guys on a Sunday night.
And indeed it is.
Don't forget, you can still message us on 03717 223344, but it's time to talk about the top of the table, because Arsenal go 3 points clear of Manchester City with a goal from Eze.
Mr. April, I call it.
Mr. April.
And Mr. May.
Springtime Eze.
Don't forget he's Mr. May as well.
Mr. Springtime.
April and May comes alive. What a goal, by the way.
Yeah.
Well worked. They obviously trusted him technically to get that effort off, but wow, did he complete the task. And it settled them a little bit, but they still look nervy, don't they?
A little bit.
And, I had the privilege of watching Manchester City play yesterday. They definitely look a class apart offensively than Arsenal. So Arsenal are really going to have to rely now on the psychology of it, because they play next, so they could have a 6-point lead, which would be massive for them. And also the real kind of defensive structure that don't concede any goals between now and the end of the season. They're capable of doing that, by the way, and getting the wins that they need to win it. I said to you all along, I want the Premier League back here in London. So I'm still with the Arsenal, but Man City at the moment, wow, they look formidable.
And they've got so many games to try and cram in, Manchester City. They're still, they've got the game against Bournemouth away, which is on the week.
The Premier League's got a problem, and the problem being that we got Aston Villa in European semi-final.
Right.
Nottingham Forest and Palace. Palace have still got a game to catch up from a previous round. They haven't got space to fit that in yet. Now they could all end up crucial games. Those games. So where do they fit them in? Are Manchester City going to have to play 2 days after a game to get that game in? Do you understand where I'm coming from? And Palace as well.
Just looking online, it says Manchester City against Palace, May 22nd. It can't be right because it's a Friday, 3:00.
I don't. Well, last time I spoke to Steve Parish, that game was to be announced.
Yeah.
To be announced, and I think, this is the problem with the calendars absolutely stacked. We go from that to the World Cup. We come back. We're a World Club Championship, pre-season friendlies to China, Japan. Oh my goodness.
Arsenal's remaining Premier League games: Fulham at home, which won't be easy.
No, but you'd fancy them.
You would. West Ham away.
Not so easy. That's a tough game because that stadium will be up for that.
Burnley at home.
Okay, that's a gimme.
And then Palace away.
Palace away will be tricky.
Yeah.
And and I think the reason that might be tricky is if Manchester City, who don't look like they got a loss in them, but they could draw, and and that could be enough for Arsenal to go to Palace, needing maybe not to win, but if they need the draw, even it's going to be an edgy game, isn't it?
Yeah, it really
for both clubs, there's a lot of tension to overcome.
Manchester City's remaining Premier League games: Everton away, Brentford at home, Bournemouth away, Palace at home, and then Villa at home last day of the season.
They got harder running,
Definitely got harder running.
Yeah,
but they have momentum on their side right now, I feel.
When you say momentum, they do have momentum, but I genuinely feel that they got offensive players bang in form.
Yeah.
Saka's just come back. He's only had one game. Martinelli, not so much. They've had an injury again to the forward line. Can Arsenal? I think Eze is so important.
Crucial.
And the reason is because he can...
a moment.
For all his failings, he disappears in games. He does. But he can create a moment.
And you know what? Those players there, that's why they need to be in teams, because the moment people... So you win
Correct.
Win you games. Didier Drogba, great player. Always stepped up at big moments.
Yeah.
Someone you will never want to play against because you knew there's a moment.
I remember at West Ham we had Yossi Benny who ended up playing for Liverpool.
Good player.
Yossi,
Good player.
Yossi was, there was nothing of him. He was like stick thin. He was about 5'7". He got bustled off the ball. It looked like he was never going to get in the game. Put it through someone's leg, went round someone like he wasn't there, put it on a sixpence. Dean Ashton scored. That it's that moment that you've got to have patience with as a manager.
Absolutely. With that game, with Arsenal beating Newcastle a goal to nil, increases the pressure on Eddie Howe. 4 Premier League defeats in a row.
It's not good as Newcastle manager at any time. And with the season on the back of the season they're having, they're currently 14th. With 4 defeats, it's a tough run for him. And as I said to you before, the media, I know that media pack up there, they will lean to the fans. Wherever the fans are leaning, and I think they're leaning to we need a change, that's where the media will go. They won't give a counter argument or talk about Eddie being brilliant, etc., etc. It'll be like, oh, it's time to go. So he's got that to part with as well. I fear for him, but I personally, I hope he stays. I think he's done a terrific job. And I think he's a great manager.
What I do like the look of is the fact that Newcastle host West Ham at St James's Park.
And that's what you like about them now. I like that about them.
I do, because...
You want them to beat West Ham.
That is Newcastle's last home game at St James's Park of the season. They have to win it. If they lose their last home game of the season, Eddie Howe's gone.
No, I don't think that. But
I think so.
Okay.
Because hearing from the Newcastle fans, they feel it's got a bit stout.
West Ham had to go to Man United to win.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? To stay up.
Was that Tevez?
Yeah. So they can win anywhere
Your
if
mate.
they need to. Tevez, yeah. What a legend he was. On and off the pitch.
Absolute baller.
Yeah.
How long has Eddie Howe got to turn it around then if you think they're not going to get rid of him?
Oh, he's going to have to finish well. What has he got left? 4 games left.
Oh, yeah. 4 games.
He's got.
How many does he need to win?
I think he's got to win 3 of them.
3 out of 4.
To be sure, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult for him. Could there be a world where he goes back to Bournemouth?
All I would say is he done a brilliant job at Bournemouth. So I'm pretty sure he's in their faults if there was anything to happen to him. But at the moment, I'm pretty sure that Bournemouth have announced the manager, as you might have missed that.
Yeah.
Yes, you have missed that.
No, I didn't miss it. I know that they had.
Well, they can't take an Eddie then, can they?
Yeah, but I imagine he becomes available. They just rip out the contract and go.
No, you can't do that. They be interesting to see how he gets on. Is it Rose? I think his name is.
The German guy, right? Yeah. Let's go Madrid. Take on Arsenal, the Champions League semi-final, first leg live on Wednesday on talkSPORT. It's a huge game for Arsenal. That.
I think the Champions League games all round are great games. Semi-finals in particular are always brilliant. There's that jeopardy of being at home, isn't there, in the first leg? What do you do? Do you go all out, or do you play it safe and go to the away leg, with something in the bag, a point or a slight lead?
Well, the thing is now, without the away goals meaning anything, it doesn't matter so much, does it?
Well, it does. I think it does because, the setup of the second game is easy. You know what you've got to do, don't you?
Yeah, but
the first game is real, particularly I think for the home team. The away team is easy. Keep it tight. Don't concede. Try and nick something. But for the home team, how much jeopardy do you throw at it? It's very difficult, I think, the first leg of that tournament.
Right, we asked you for your marathon shout-outs, and people did not disappoint in parts.
No.
Would you like to go first?
No, I want you to go first.
Okay, we got from Ben. He says, big up to Callum Turner, who smashed his London Marathon in just over 4 hours, been training for months while playing the occasional 6-a-side football game, scoring 8 goals in one game a couple of weeks ago.
This is from Rich. Don't forget to give a big shout out for the volunteers, Rich and Kat, by the way, they want to name themselves. We volunteered at mile 23.5 drink station. Both Forest fans. Come on, you Reds.
From Abdul, the Arsenal fan, please can you give a huge shout out to the JB and all the MSN runners in today's London Marathon. Did us all proud. Well done, and we'll hopefully do it together next year.
This one's from Chris O'Keefe. Big shout out for my son Gabriel. Go on, Gabriel. In today's marathon, we are huge talkSPORT fans. We are Saints fans and suffered yesterday being at Wembley. But today, Gabriel ran the London Marathon in 3 hours, 19 minutes.
Wow.
Good boy. Raising £1,000 for a great charity called WizKids, providing wheelchairs for young children. Good job, Gabe.
Oh, brilliant. And finally, this is why I love our listeners' pods. Hi, Imagine Alan. The best Batman for me, then, now, and forever, is Adam West.
Adam, yes.
That's from Bilko, the Wigan fan.
I used to come home from school and watch that. I used to love it. I was addicted to it.
Joe Guru, we're looking
it's all
at
a bit
now.
sort of
Plow, pow,
yeah,
chapow.
It's all a bit gay actually when you look at it in the cold light of day now.
Yeah, it was all very happy. It was
gaiety.
Yes, it was very happy indeed. It was. It was very sort of cheesy.
Tight costumes and very much kind of camp.
It was very brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you, Bilko, the Wigan fan there. Coming up next, before we hand the baton over to the Transium Express, we will reveal
Batman himself.
We will reveal who the mystery footballer is, and Pardew and I are invited to a very special party. You listen to The Final Word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. All your favourite games, all in one place, 18+. Gamblingaware.org.
The big news is that Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea after 5 straight Premier League losses in which Chelsea didn't score a single goal. That's their worst record since 1912. Now, Chelsea would have preferred Rosenior to stay and be judged in years rather than weeks, but it simply wasn't possible. And as a consequence, a mid-season change is needed. Even though Rosenior only got the job in January, what I can tell you is that the players have already been informed. They were off today, and Callum McFarland will take charge of the team until the end of the season on an interim basis. And that includes the weekend's FA Cup semi-final against Leeds United at Wembley. And then Chelsea in the summer will do a thorough process to replace Rosenior, but they're going to take their time with that. So Rosenior sacked after that loss to Brighton, arguably Chelsea's worst performance in many, many years. And it is an interim manager in Callum McFarland to take charge until the end of the season.
Ben, firstly, well done on breaking the news. I'm looking at all the other media outlets. We've got it before everyone, so I really appreciate you telling talkSPORT first. Why the big change of heart? Because it wasn't that long ago the owners came out and almost confirmed the fact that they were going to stick with their manager, and they see him in that position for a long, long time. Why all of a sudden is it the change of heart? Is it the performance? Is it the result last night?
Kiss Me, Kill Me, You Too. Now this one, Rolling Stones, Let's Spend the Night Together. And song 3 was Here Come the Good Times, Ireland's 2002 World Cup song. And the clues, of course, were U2. Where are U2 from? Alan Pardew. Where are they from?
Ireland.
Do you remember when Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse used to do the sketch of the two of them? He's like, I'm Bono, here to save the world. And then Paul Whitehouse was the Edge. And he goes, Edge, what do you have under that funny little hat of yours? And he used to have a little tree. It was brilliant. If you've never seen it, YouTube, the Harry Enfield.
I love him. I love him.
He was on Breakfast the other week, I think he was, Paul Whitehouse.
Oh, man, he is.
So yeah, U2 are from Ireland, of course. Let's Spend the Night Together. The Rolling Stones. The name of the frontman is, of course,
Bono.
No, that's U2.
So what are we talking about?
Rolling Stones frontman.
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger, of course. So Iron, Mick.
I used to get called rubber lips at school because my lips, I had got quite big lips.
So did I.
No
way.
Wow.
Rubber lips.
Rubber lips, my brother. The rubber lips twins.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, I used to hate it. I used to really
Same here.
I wanted to proper fight people when they called me it.
Oh, I had a couple.
Here comes rubber lips. Yeah, Mick always had big lips, didn't he?
Especially because I'm a mouth breather as well, which makes things worse.
What's that mean?
I can't breathe through my nose. I've got deviated septum, and I broke my nose when I was about 7. Yeah, yeah. That's why I can look gormless half the time. Right, and here comes the good times. Ireland's 2002 World Cup song, and who was the manager of Ireland at the time in 2002, Parts?
That was my good friend and Ferrari owner, Mick McCarthy.
Big Mick with a Ferrari.
He's had a few Ferraris.
I've had a few
He
Ferraris,
wouldn't surprise you, wouldn't it, eh? Yeah.
You can't keep going on like this, Mick. You can. You can. The of course, the answer was Big Mick McCarthy. So many people got it right, including Stacky the Blue Nose. But Pards, you're not having it, are you? The film.
No, I watched it about 15 minutes. I didn't like the guy who plays Roy Keane. Actually, very good.
Very good.
Very good. But Mick McCarthy's the fella who's played him.
Steve Coogan, of course.
And the way it was, the lines and the way he was portrayed is not Mick McCarthy in a million years.
Mick McCarthy can have it.
No, and I'm a big fan of Steve Coogan.
Aha!
No, I like the show. When they were going around Italy in the restaurants. When they're having the chit chat.
Oh, him and Rob.
Yeah.
The road trip was it?
Road trip. Yeah, they were brilliant. Yeah. Anyway, all of his stuff I liked. But,
and they're Michael,
not that.
Their Michael Caine impression of Like, you can do Michael Caine in the early days.
Yeah, that's
I'm a bit more Batman Michael Caine. Very good indeed. So, yeah, of course, the answer was Big Mick McCarthy, who's sat in for you before. You've been away. And we had a right good time with Big Mick.
Let me tell you about something. I'm going to tell you something about Mick, right? You know, people call him like, I think most people's perception of him, get at him team, you know, like get into him, you know, like Mick McCarthy team, aggressive, etc., etc. He played a diamond at Millwall, right? A diamond formation. It was one of the best footballing teams that I've played against.
Really?
When I was a player. They were brilliant. Roberts at the bottom of the diamond. The Millwall fans who are, you know, on a bit of a high themselves at the moment. They could get promoted next week. They will remember that team. Brilliant team. And Mick, you know, the perceptions of managers are not always as they seem.
Well, like I say, Big Sam's thought of being this, like, keep you up in the league merchant, when in actual fact his Bolton team were revolutionary. Unbelievable. What a week it's been for the Woodmans, with Bromley's boss and friend of the show, Andy Woodman, winning League 2 Manager of the Season following Bromley's promotion to League 1. And, of course, Freddie Woodman in the sticks for Liverpool. And at the EFL Awards, he spoke to talkSPORT's Ollie Klink and was glowing in praise for his very good friend, the one and only Mr. Alan Pardew.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, listen, Pards has been a real help to me, a real mentor, you know, throughout my football career and my coaching career, and now even my managerial career. And he was very quick to, give me a lovely message. So I'll be looking forward to having a beer with Pards.
Yeah. What can he bring to a party, Alan Pardew?
Yeah, he can bring chaos to a party. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, we're looking to have a few beers.
Well, I tell you what, his co-host Majestic has also offered to DJ. He is a global DJ, and he's offered to come and do Bromley's celebration promotion party, hopefully Champions Party too. Were you going to take him up on that?
Absolutely, yeah. Majestic would be welcome with, I mean, I don't know if does he play any ABBA or any of my old stuff that I like? If he can play some of my old stuff, he's more than welcome.
I'm going to get the ABBA out, Pards.
He's not ABBA, let me tell you.
He don't look like an ABBA man.
He must have been the first thing that come into his head. He's more of a like jazz soul. Jinky man. He can throw a few shapes, would he? He's all right. Good dancer.
I like that. And of course, he won EFL League 2 Manager of the Season.
Yeah. I'm not sure I like Crook's way he worded that. What's
Pardew?
Pardew?
Clinky,
was it?
Ollie.
What's Pardew going to bring to the party? I'm going to bring a bit of fun, aren't I? I'm going to bring a joviality. Whatever that is.
should we pull Clinky when we see him next?
Yeah, I'm not having it.
We'll pull him. Are you getting a bolt? Right, EFL final day live across the talkSPORT network. It's coming. Southampton against Ipswich live on talkSPORT 2.
What a game.
Tuesday evening, the big promotion, 6-pointer.
Come on, Southampton. Come on, the Reds.
That is going to be a massive game. Wrexham are holding on to the final playoff spot. Hull and Derby just outside. In League 1, 3 points separate 4th and 7th.
There's some real, tight situations, isn't there?
Ian Holloway, Swindon are out of the playoffs with a game to go after losing to Grimsby 4-0. They face Chesterfield in the playoff decider.
Yeah, I see Ollie wasn't happy. I see an interview of him.
Yeah.
He'll be gunning for them boys this week. They better ride.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have them running around that track.
And at the bottom, there's only 1 point separating 23rd and 20th. It's so tight. It's tight. It's why it's quite interesting in the Premier League this season, because it's not done yet. You know, normally it's all done, you know, everyone's relegated and there and there. There's so much jeopardy, is the word we like to use, isn't we?
We do like that word. And the problem, well, not the problem, but the issue that you have is when you look back and you think of the points you dropped and the goals you should have scored and the moments that have cost you so dear. And it means nothing. It comes down to one game.
I know. It's as those games sort of get ticked off, as a Spurs fan, I get more and more scared. So scared, Pards. This is unfamiliar territory.
I want to go back to something I said earlier, because I want to just give a shout out to my team of the season, right? Because I mentioned them earlier and said, oh, what about if you've got to play Lincoln, right? But Lincoln are my team of the year. 100 points. They've been absolute. Can you imagine Lincoln in the Championship? It's absolutely what an achievement they've done down there. So well done to them. And they deserve their stuff in the Championship next year.
Yeah, they've been absolutely superb.
And I have them over my Bromley, you know, obviously where I've got sort of an emotional attachment, but I've got Lincoln as the team of the year.
Yeah.
Even above Frank's commentary.
Really?
There you go.
That's a big shout indeed. This has been the final word. Phone in here on talkSPORT on a very wonderful day in the city of London.
It's a brilliant day. Those who've never been to the marathon in London, put it on your list. Even if you just want to come and enjoy the atmosphere, it's absolutely brilliant out there. It's been today. Well done to everyone involved.
After a bumper weekend of sport, there's only one place to be on a Monday morning, Pards, and that's the talkSPORT Breakfast Show with Shupa Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend.
Getting about that, Ali McCoist, he's on everything.
I tell you what, he works as hard as I do.
Well, fair play to him.
And then Arsenal Invincible Martin Keown joins Jim White and Simon Jordan from 10. Always fireworks on that show. He's brilliant.
Simon, yeah, he's always, twisting him up, man.
But if you need some music in your life, swipe across to the talkSPORT app to the Virgin Radio Breakfast Show with Chris Evans, who's won the marathon today.
We love Chris.
And it's a huge week of live games across the talkSPORT network, including Arsenal in the Champions League. So download the talkSPORT app for all the details. The final word returns next Sunday after our live coverage.
You better underline the timings.
I know.
Go on, tell them.
We're going to be at 9 to 11. Late one.
You actually could go to bed with your radio on and we'll send you to sleep.
Yeah,
possibly.
Possibly. Do you know what? Last time we did a late one like that, it was after a Villa game. It was Palace Villa. Do you remember?
My memory does not serve me well in
Palace beat Villa. They absolutely battered them. But next up, it's one of the best shows on radio. The Trans-Europe Express rolls right into town. But from me, Imagine in Pards.
It's a very good evening.
Good evening indeed.
It's expensive as well, living in Paris, by the sounds of it, Emmanuel. It's expensive being Emmanuel Petit, by the sounds of it as well.
No, so happy to be Emmanuel Petit,
Oh, quite right.
If I was not Emmanuel Petit, I wish I would be. I could be Emmanuel Petit. Honestly, my life is beautiful.
Well, let's get into this. What do you like about him?
Well, I always do what I like, I don't do things because I don't want to do it. And this is a luxury, especially nowadays. People would think, okay, with the money you earn, but I gave everything to my ex-wives. I had 3 divorces and I gave the half of it to the States too. So, but I'm still very happy. I try, every single morning when I wake up, I want to stay positive because life is beautiful. I know it's very difficult, but if you want things to change in your life, you have to be positive. This is my religion.
Coming on this show often might change that.
Well, I was going to say,
if I have to come every single day with Simon, maybe I will change after a month.
I'm positive. I was going to say, Emmanuel, you only do things in life that you want to do, and you're sitting beside him.
It's a luxury, actually,
Yes,
because
it's a luxury.
most of the people, they don't have the choice to do it.
Do you know when you won it?
Everyone knows there are 20 managers in the Premier League, yeah? Well, actually, no. Around 3/4 of them are not managers. The terms manager and head coach are often used interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually 2 different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
I don't think so. No.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach.